Hey everybody, this is Chris here, and we're going to be running our session one of Curse of Strahd. I have a couple of friends here joining me to go on the voyage of horror and dread. I'll let them introduce their characters one by one. We're going to start with Dan.
I am Dragar, a mountain dwarf. Just got out of the army. I am ready to smash things with my mighty hammer. I don't know. That's about it. I'm ready to go.
Perfect. Next up, we'll do Gabriel.
I am Val Bloodcrown, Drow Assassin. I've no fondness for any race, but I don't see why friendship needs to be sullied by bloodshed. So let's see where this takes us.
Cool. Next up, we have Joe.
I am Alton Duskblossom. I am a drow sorcerer. I had been assigned as a consort to another drow family, but the woman, she was a cow, so I had to disregard the wishes of my family, and sadly they wished to kill me, so I had to flee. And now I am at the surface, surrounded by albinos. But I will figure things out.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Next up, last but not least, we have Pat.
Playing Reader, the half-elf thief, recently escaped from a prison in Baldur's Gate, trying to make his way home to Waterdeep.
Perfect. And I know I dropped you guys a kind of little story arc, but since we don't have that in the broadcast, I'm going to just fill everybody in. And these adventurers find themselves in a little city called Daggerford, just south of Waterdeep. They find themselves here on the kind of end of a summer season, changing over to fall, and they're in this little city outpost. The sun has recently set, kind of chilling wind fills the air and kind of claws at everybody from the inside out. As the night fades, they have this forest called the Misty Forest to the east of the city, and anyone that's spent any time in Daggerford realizes why it's earned that title, because at nighttime, very eerie mist kind of creeps out and surrounds the city. Most of the villagers and locals tend to not really enjoy it, and they think it as a bad superstition. Most of them spend their time in the tavern. We're going to call this tavern the Boiling Dragon. And that's where we find our adventurers, actually. And on this chilly night, the creeping mist trying to sneak in the tavern door from the cracks and whatnot. Most people are enjoying wine or ale. The spirits are pretty high in the area. Most people are having a good time. We will first just kind of then describe what your characters look like. And the first character we're going to see is Dragar. And what does Dragar look like? And what is he doing in this bar?
Dragar is sitting down at the table all by himself. He's just drinking his beer, thinking to himself, looking around, wondering what is happening. He is about a 4'8" mountain dwarf barbarian who is unarmored with great tattoos and beautiful flowing red hair, but it is starting to go a little gray. Dragar does not like to admit. But he was just sitting there with his hammers surrounding him and waiting for anything to happen. He is always ready. He doesn't really know what to do with himself after the wars, and he is just sitting here wondering what is next.
And he is alone, but I believe Dragar has potential company that he's acquired on his faithful travel, and that company is Alton, I believe we discussed. And what exactly is Alton doing at this time, and what does he look like?
Alton, yeah, he is a very, very average height drow, but he is real thin, but he is beautiful. He is as beautiful as any woman you have ever seen. And at the bar, he is providing entertainment for his dearest Dragar, the most powerful dwarf he has ever met. And Alton, he is sitting at the atop a table, perhaps much to the disagreement of the bar owner, but they cannot protest. He is playing his harp. He's playing the most beautiful song that they have ever heard, or at least that is what Alton believes as he lets out melodious melodies.
Yeah, and actually, as Alton is playing, he has drew the attention of many of the locals. A couple have joined in dance and kind of singing along with whatever tune you're rocking out to. Ale being cheered in the kind of goblets that they have. Great time being had for sure as everyone tries to forget the kind of cold, misty night. Next, we kind of pan over to Reader, and what is he doing and what does he look like?
Reader's his moon elf features are pretty strong in him, but he's only 5'9" and still pretty thin. His clothes is worn from the road that he's just kind of picked up along the way because he's lost all his own possessions. He's just been kind of collecting things as he goes. And he has dark hair and fair skin with almost black eyes. He's the kind of guy that almost could have been handsome once, but he'd been beaten up too many times, especially recently. Maybe some purple, green bruising still showing. He tries to hide. And he's not necessarily in a group, but with all the singing going on, and he's trying to also he's had too much cold and damp, and so he's staying by the warmth and enjoying some ale himself.
Perfect. And as you join in with the kind of group and are drawn towards Alton's magical playing of the harp, the last person that we have kind of hiding out in this bar, I imagine, is Val. And what is Val doing?
Val is sitting in a corner, almost obscured by the shadows, with a blue cloth covering his eyes, and he looks around, smiling, and he sheathes his red sword and walks into the center of the room like he's uncomfortable towards Alton, and he says, I don't know you. Who are you?
Oh, I am Alton. Couldn't you tell by this beautiful face? I'm not even wearing a shirt. You don't like what you see? I don't understand. Perhaps you have not heard my song.
And Val would look at Alton and say, no, I haven't heard of you or your song. And well, you seem to have lost your shirt. As much as I hate to admit it, only that dwarf seems to be looking at you.
Oh, that is
Dragar would
okay.
pick up at the conversation and just peek and be listening to protect his friend Alton.
Do not worry, I do not need a shirt. My body is as hard as steel. All of all of the maidens love to touch it, but I don't think I'll let you touch it, okay?
And as you guys are talking, this kind of busty, redheaded, all pinned up in two buns on each side of her head, dressed in this kind of brown commoner cloak with an apron, comes with some pints, and she says to you guys, "Evening, lads. What can I get you anything to drink on this cold night? Your glasses look like they're getting a little bit empty." And she looks to all of you who have kind of congregated now, seeing that some of you are almost polished off drinks, and she offers to refill them if anyone is
Oh,
interested in such.
I do not need a drink. I am still drunk off the admiration of all my fans. Thank
Oh
you.
yes, some beautiful playing you have. How long have you practiced such art to play so masterfully?
Only the past 10 years. They wanted me to play for my bride to be, but alas, it did not work out for us.
Oh, it's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Did she fall ill or something?
No, no, she was just simply a hideous creature, and I could not bear to be with her.
And with that, she kind of like is taken aback, like not really expecting it, and she almost kind of spills the tray of drinks, and she's like, "Oh, um, okay. Do you want another one?"
Oh no, I did not need one, but I appreciate the sentiment. You are much more kind than she was,
And
Dragar will take a drink.
oh
but
yes,
perhaps even more beautiful as well.
and she blushes at that and says, "Oh, you stop it,"
Oh,
and hands a drink to Dragar and looks to Val and Reader.
before she turns to go, because he takes the last sip of his drink and he's about to outstretch his hand to get another one, but then he realizes, wait a second, and he checks his pockets real quick, and then he hears that soft clink of metal, and he realizes, okay, this is safe, and then he orders another one.
Perfect, and she gives you one. With that, unless anyone kind of ties her up, she starts heading on and giving more people drinks.
Farewell, Sune.
And she kind of gives you like a little wave and a giggle. Anyone watching, though, paying attention as she goes across the room, she starts giving out drinks, taking cups. After a few moments, though, she heads to a corner of the room where a man is kind of sitting in the shadows, and she walks up to him, and you can't really hear what's going on actively, but you notice that she takes kind of a step back as this shadowed man is sitting in the corner. You can't really make out any facial features. He's cloaked, he has a hood on, and face shadowed. Anyone that wants to actively listen can do so, or you can just go along with your day.
Dragar will listen.
I will also listen.
Anyone that wants to can give a perception to see if you can kind of make it out, or you can just straight up walk over there and even check it out.
Dragar, she looked like the goddess of beauty. Just very strange.
Yeah, 21.
Perfect.
19. And Reader will try to, worrying that he's some sort of constable or something.
Kind of duck out of the shadow, or duck down yourself, eh?
More like just trying to blend in. Like he might even ease himself a little bit closer to the dwarf, hoping that, and that's the group and the boisterousness of Alton will just take all the attention while seeing what's going on the other side of the room.
Yes, Alton definitely commands a certain amount of attention when he does walk into a room. With that perception, Reader and Dragar are easily able to hear the conversation going on, and the barmaiden is saying to the guy, "You can't have another drink until you pay your tab, love. You've already had 6, and you haven't paid one yet. It's a policy of the store, or a policy of the tavern. And I'm sorry, if you just pay your tab, I'll give you another one." And then the guy, kind of with a grisly, low voice, says, "Give me another one. Now. I'm thirsty." And he's kind of, you notice him like scratch at himself. "So thirsty." And then she's like, I can't do that, hon. You got to pay me. Just even pay for 1 or 2, and I'll give you another one." And then with that, he actually stands up, kind of kicks the table almost about, and knocks the drinks over in her hand.
Dragar at this point would say, "Hey, buddy, I will pay for your drinks. Settle down, relax, sit. We'll drink together."
And with that, he says, I'm so thirsty, so hungry," and he's just like kind of scratching himself, and he says, "Bring me food, bring me meat now." And then she replies quickly that the cook has kind of closed down for the evening and they can't bring you any food. And he starts actively getting even more mad, and he actually goes to like grab her.
Sir, please unhand Goddess Sune. If you do not, I may have to butcher you.
"You shut your mouth, you ugly son of a bitch."
Ha! I am ugly, I see. It's funny because it is not true at all. I get it.
"What kind of freak are you? Your skin is dark, your hair white."
Now watch what you are saying, sir.
Oh, but you are a filthy albino, but you do not hear me throwing insults.
"I want food now."
You better ask, please, then.
And then with that, he says, "Fuck you."
Oh, please do not let me have to kill you, because you know, I'm a very nice man.
And with that, he kind of goes into like, he looks like he's almost in like a chaos at this point. He starts holding his head, and he's like, "Oh, I can't take it. I'm so hungry." And then he grabs the girl and actually bites onto her arm. She's letting out this like kind of scream of shock and pain. And he's just kind of like hurtled over, and you can't really see him, but he's like trying to gnaw into this girl's arm.
Oh.
Everyone in the bar like lets out a panic and kind of like starts backing away and clears out.
I believe the proper term is roll for initiative, because I'm going to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Val has also drawn his sword.
Dragar angry.
Perfect. All right, everyone, roll initiative. Oh, I don't even have tokens for you. That's a pain in the ass. All right, give me a second here, and I'll enter you guys all in. I'm just gonna put some short forms.
Do you want us to roll on any particular location?
Roll 20.
Alrighty then, I'll load it up.
That's where I'm gonna do most of my rolling. So, and I'm blanking out here.
As that was unfolding, Reader maybe thought he's plague stricken or something, and initially cringed back. But then when he realized, okay, he's not some flaming fist mercenary or something, he would have reached into his behind his back to take out a short stave, like a little club.
Val would have jumped under a table, drawing his blood-red sword, and smiling, and whisper to whoever was closest, "He's mine."
All right, and let me roll initiative myself. Oh, if I do that though, you guys are gonna see what it is. I almost blew it.
When in doubt, type in /GM roll.
Yeah, no, I'm just querying my rolls so that I can whisper myself. Anyways,
Do we have tokens yet, or should I just roll initiative and we can?
unfortunately, I completely slipped my mind to roll or make tokens for you guys. I'll have that done by next session. But yeah, I apologize for that.
Oh, I'm not fast to act. I am very distraught at the biting.
Yeah, it's a very kind of grisly scene. Blood starts flying from her arm as he's really like gnawing into her in a very cannibalistic way. Luckily for you guys, he rolled pretty terribly too. We're not going to enter him in until it's actually time to go. So we got, and then this will be a lot cleaner next session as I don't procrastinate making you guys tokens. And Alton is, where is he? I don't even see him. 6. All right. Let me descend that. Reader, you're up immediately first, and this guy, not even really paying attention. He's still trying to like gnaw into this poor bar maiden.
Did when Val said that to the room, he said that in common?
Yes, he did.
Okay, hearing that and seeing the sword and not wanting to be in between the man and his quarry, Reader sort of just slips to the side and moves in to, I guess we'll call it like an assist action.
Yeah, you can help for sure, giving him advantage on his next attack.
So he won't actually attack, but he'll just move to, in a way that maybe he pushes 2 people out of the way, like lunging, shoulder checking them, so that Val has a clear path.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up is Dragar.
Dragar would take 3 steps in and bash over skull with Warhammer.
All right, go ahead and give him a bash, and let's see what happens.
Rolled a 16.
Rolled a 16. All right, that's definitely a hit. And you hit him with all your might. And Dragar has smashed many things with his hammer. He knows what it takes to break a man's bone. And this guy, as you slam into him with might that normally would crack a man's spine, you hit him point blank, and he doesn't even flinch. He actually doesn't even seem to even notice you as he's still gnawing, and you can't see his face. The cloak over his face, still gnawing. The only thing that you see is blood kind of dripping from this arm as she's like frantically like pulling, like, somebody help me!
And Dragar would take a step back and recoil, being like, what in the world is this?
And next up is Val.
So I have advantage on attacks, correct?
Yes, and so would Dragar, but that doesn't matter.
So, jumping from under this table that I kind of rolled under, with an upward strike at this man, I would begin to laugh as, if this works.
I believe a help action gives only 1 attack advantage.
You probably are potentially right. We'll just say that since he said he was helping Dragar, or not Dragar, Alton, or Val, that we won't worry about it.
Alrighty then.
So I will get the sneak attack bonus.
All right, and the same thing. What does it look like as Val kind of sprints in and attacks this guy?
So Val leaps from under the table he half hid under, bringing his red sword up and slicing through this man's chest. And his sword flashes as it digs in, and Val laughs this cold, chilling laugh, and then says to this man in Elven, "Die."
Perfect, and that's a total of 10 damage. All right. As you stab into him, his face rises up. He lets out, at first, what you think would be a scream, but as you look at his face, his features are completely contorted. He has hair kind of covering most of his face and a jawline, much like kind of a canine. Big jaws and teeth, blood dripping from them. He looks more wolf than man, and he lets out this like howl of pain, and then you hear him say, "So hungry, must eat." And next up is him. He's going to immediately swing at you, Val. And I don't want to actually, I'm going to whisper it still. Awkward. He whips out his arm. You see these kind of claws, really long and dirty looking. He scrapes into you for 8 damage, and then immediately tries to bite at you. You're able to dodge it, and you quickly see this guy kind of go down on his like 4 legs, and he's like this hybrid of man and wolf at this current moment. Anyone can give an insight to see if they can realize what's going on here.
No armor class included, just straight damage.
Yeah, he rolled 17.
Okay, yeah. Val just drops to the ground, this shocked look in his eyes, and he's down.
Yeah, and the force completely takes you by surprise, and it becomes quickly apparent to at least Val, and you're unconscious?
Yes.
Yeah, it becomes quickly probably apparent to everybody that this creature is incredibly strong, and no one person should be taking it on. Alton, you've heard of such a creature. It kind of clicks in your head. You've heard of them maybe in the Underdark in your studies. And it becomes kind of apparent to you that this guy is clearly cursed by lycanthropy, and he is a werewolf, and a very deadly adversary to even the most trained warrior. You probably have a sinking realization that you guys are quite potentially in over your head. With the rest of his action, he grabs onto the barmaiden and sprints by you guys, provoking opportunity attacks from all of you.
Could I use an Arcana on that, or does it have to be Insight?
You can use an Arcana too. And then go ahead and take your attacks, Pat. Okay, so all 3 of you hit into this creature, but for whatever reason, it seems like it did not even hurt him whatsoever. Alton, with that roll, you remember from your studies, I don't know why I made you roll an insight now that I think about it, but remember from your studies that werewolves have many damage immunities, and that nothing short of silver or magic really hurts them. Only you know that with that roll, but you all strike into them with whatever blow you can, and for whatever reason, it seems like he does not take any damage, and he bolts out of the door with speed that you guys would not think a man could possess. And you hear the screams of the woman going down the kind of streets into the mist.
Would I have any potential chance of being able to take an action against him before he is gone?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, I will move 30 feet after the lycanthropic coward, and I will cast a sleep spell upon him.
All right.
Uh, you strange monster man, please put her down. I didn't wish to have to kill you. And I put 26 hit points worth of creatures to sleep in his radius.
All right. You hear the woman quickly stop screaming and fall asleep in his arms, but he is not phased whatsoever by it. And then continues darting to what seems like out of town to the east. Anybody else want to try to do anything before we start? Kind of like before he's really quick.
I would just, no, I would just rush over. He said, so you said Val went down after he was kind of partially mauled.
Yes.
But just not really knowing what to do, but of seeing people get hurt before, just try to put pressure on any of the open wounds that were there.
Yeah, and he has a big gash right across his chest from the claw mark. Go ahead and make a medicine check to see if you can at least like stabilize him enough. There's other people coming quickly too to like assist him. But go ahead and make a medicine check at advantage. And it's enough to like hold the blood from stopping, and quickly a couple of townsfolk take rags from behind the bar and they bandage him up, or at least stop the bleeding, and sooner or later he'll come to consciousness. Other than that, who else wants to do something?
Dragar stunned, hammers hit twice, no damage. What crazy for Dragar.
You need fantastical weapons to hurt such a creature. You must have a silver weapon, or perhaps magic. Perhaps perhaps you could do something like this. No. And
Oh jeez, no Dragar, no ready for that.
No?
Dalton's got to help with those kind of things. Jeez, what's going on?
Okay, well, I'm not very good at the magics, but I can do a bit. And
Well,
you see him as he kind of laughs and coughs out a poisonous mist from his mouth, but he removes it before it can harm anyone else.
And as you guys are talking, and Val is stabilized and comes to consciousness, you hear a man, short and redhead, with a kind of not so long beard, but a medium-length beard, and he's screaming, "Bethany, where's Bethany? What happened to her?" And he's in a panic, and it becomes apparent that he's yelling for the barmaid, and who he is screaming that it's his daughter and that somebody needs to do something, and that he'll pay anybody anything to save his daughter. He says, "Please, please, anybody, help me, save her." And he looks to you guys and all the townsfolk. A couple of them say, "There's no way we'll let that beast take Bethany. We will rally against her." And then they look to anybody else who wants to kind of go along. There's about 5 men that say they will rally.
I would love to help, but unless you have a silver weapon, you are marching to your death.
So, stabilized, Val would slowly, using his sword, prop himself up, and then sheath his sword, and say, "I thought I could have done something." And then shout to everyone, "Unless you got a weapon better than mine, you aren't gonna do shit."
Dragar with Alton and Val. Dragar, stay here. Wait for better weapons.
And
Yes,
with that, one of them says that he's a blacksmith and that he has weapons made of silver that he can lend for this. And they basically are going to do like a kind of raid now. People are quickly going out to the streets, several grabbing torches. They march their way to the blacksmith, their blacksmith shop, if you guys are following. And with that, I'm assuming you guys are, unless you say otherwise.
Dragar looks to Alton and asks, "What do you want to do now?"
Oh,
Change the
we must
mission from
save.
save to kill, and I'm in.
Yes, we must save Lady Sune from the clutches of the monster.
Okay
And,
then. Dragar says we go do this now.
The bartender says 100 gold to whoever brings Bethany back.
I will do it for free, but I will take your offer. It is very nice.
And with that, everyone eagerly walks to the blacksmith. He doesn't have like anything super crazy for silver weapons, just basically short swords, maybe a couple tipped arrows of silver, maybe a long sword or two, but
No
nothing
vat
like,
of boiling silver for me to dip my hammers in?
unfortunately, not possible to do kind of on the fly.
Oh, jeez, too bad.
You know how it is, Jagar. Nobody makes a silver hammer. Why do you need a
Hey,
silver hammer?
hey.
I know it is against your nature, but perhaps you can use a sword.
Okay, let's do this thing.
And
And
Reader
anyone, go ahead.
would grab however many arrows he could that happened to have the silver tip on them, and if they weren't already grabbed up already, he might take a short sword as well.
Yeah,
Dragger would look for a battle axe, but take whatever he could find at this point just to do any damage at
Yes,
all.
I would like 2 short swords if possible.
yeah, he gives you two. Anybody, Dragar looking for a battle axe, you do see one, but it's not silver tipped. Um,
I'll just take a couple swords then.
okay. Yeah, anyone can take a short sword or a long sword and some arrows. Unfortunately, like, he doesn't carry kind of specialized
No, long
hammers.
sword's actually better for me then.
Yeah.
You would see, because Val has followed you along, him look over these short swords and then draw his blade, which you swore was bloody when he sheathed it, and is now pristine, flicks it, and says, "I think my sword will do well enough."
All right, and with that, the folks in their torches are ready, and they start marching towards the misty forest. It is called, as that's where the beasts seem to be heading. As you look to the skies, it's pretty much completely cloud covered, or I guess you should say mist cover, as you look pretty much anywhere but towards the tree line, and there's this like thick wall of white mist that is literally completely non-visible through on the outskirts of the north and south end of town. It is almost kind of eerie, as it seems like this misty wall on both sides is just like straight right to the forest. And with that, the townsfolk start their march with their torches and weapons in hand, um, kind of in a hurried run. And then eventually, it doesn't take too long. It's only about a mile away, maybe less. You guys get to the forest line. The person who's kind of take the charge of this, he seems to be like a town guard, says that you guys need to split up a bit and go into groups, but stay close enough where you're in earshot so that if the beast strikes, you're able to defend yourselves. So he points to you four and says that you guys should be a group, and kind of segregates everybody else off. He sends one townsfolk with you, kind of silver long sword in his hand. He doesn't look like the most battle-hardened townsfolk. He's kind of visibly shaking. It doesn't look like he's probably going to be the best companion, but nonetheless, that's who you have. Another 3 groups of 4 to 5 people separate and kind of make this almost line at the tree line and start marching into the forest. Does anybody like to do anything before you make your way into the forest?
As we walk into the forest, I would do my best to hide in the shadows.
You can do a stealth. There's definitely some, what's it called when the vision is not clear. I can't remember the term for it, but it's going to be pretty.
Vision.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy for you to hide if anybody that wants to do a stealth.
Dragar would turn to the group and be like, Dragar says ready for good times. Let's go get our barmaid back.
And feeling very uneasy at this point because following the momentum of the group and everyone's pumped up, it was really easy just to grab up some weapons and follow along. But now that he's in the dark and there's mist everywhere, Reader starts becoming increasingly afraid. So almost to create a little bit of emotional distance, he just wonders about Val's sword and kind of wondering like, I wonder what that's worth. I wonder where that came from. If there's any way he could appraise it or guess at its properties without having to ask him about it.
Any chance that you would make it so I noticed you looking?
This is just him thinking to himself after he had already seen it from inside.
Gotcha.
All right. I sense some fear amongst us. Are you okay, my dearest friend? If you have any fears, you can stand behind my beautiful body. It will inspire you. Okay.
the one townsfolk is actually holding his short sword for whatever reason in two hands, and he's just shaking. And he's like, "No, no, I'm not scared. I'm good. We'll
Okay.
get Bethany back."
Okay, do not worry. I am a beautiful creature, and beauty cannot be tarnished so easily.
And
I
he,
will face the creature in single combat, but you are all welcome to join me.
Oh, no.
so yeah, as you try to like blend in with the mist, Val, it's very peculiar what happens. You kind of like use it as a blanket, but as you get in, it's almost like this grabbing, kind of choking sensation, and it feels like you can't really breathe as you try to like take cover in this mist and use it as your kind of cover, and you literally have to like fall out of the mist, like gasping and coughing, as it like took your breath away. And as you look at it, it almost you get this weird sensation that it's almost alive. It looks like for seconds, like claws kind of come out and then dissipate. And as you're looking at it, you realize you kind of shake it off and realize it's just maybe your eyes playing tricks on you. But you can't help anybody that ventures close to the mist. You can't help but get this feeling that it's trying to just like suck you in, and it's really hard to breathe in if you even try to like progress in towards it. And you basically just have to follow this eastward path that the mist, for whatever reason, seems to have kind of pushed its way through.
Noticing these effects of the mist and stumbling out, Val would just say that mist is evil, and draw his sword and won't let me hide.
No mist can be evil. Evil does not lie in water molecules and air. Come on now, let's go party.
I understand what the problem here is. Young boy, you seem to be distracted by my beauty. Do not worry. I am not here to share it with you.
If anything, I'm distracted by this mark in my chest.
And as you guys are talking, you hear a scream to your left, and you see one of the torches drop to the ground, and these kind of flickering of shadows darting around at a pace that is really hard to follow. And you see one of the groups quickly being like taken down to the ground, and you hear these screams of help and this kind of gnawing.
Dragar would worry about Val, his health being so low. He would try to protect him from whatever was out there.
And do you guys head in that direction, or are you going to continue forward?
I must ask, are we following werewolf tracks of some kind, or are we simply following
You just kind of spread out in the forest line. No one picked up tracks yet, but as you guys were discussing between yourselves, it didn't take too long as you're walking in the forest, maybe not even 60 feet in the tree line. You hear the commotion, and you see these darting kind of shades attacking a group a good 60 feet away from you guys.
Yes, we must attack them. They
We
have.
should help. We should help. Yes.
Yes. They have. They must have the victims. Allow us to free them.
Let us swing our hammers and go our silver swords, I suppose, and run this down.
And as you run over there, you see three wolves pinning down what's left of the group. Two men already dead, throats completely ripped out. The remaining two pinned down by two wolves, and another one kind of standing there looking around, kind of surveying the area.
I would get ready to start and throw my mighty little tiny hammers at its wolves.
Alright, so then if you guys are going to attack, we can roll initiative again, as the one that was surveying the area quickly sees you guys.
Huh.
14.
That was
Got a
wrong.
9. Dragar got a
4.
4.
Yeah.
20.
Very nice, Alton.
Jogging up, with everyone, Reader would have been having a good pace in his stride and moving with a lot of motivation. A narrow noct on his short bow, But the moment he makes out 3 figures, you can see like he almost plants his feet, loses his balance, and quickly just looks at Dragar and the rest, and he's like, I'll follow your lead. What are you gonna do?
And Val pulls out his crossbow and says, as much as I like close combat, there's no point with wolves and hurt members.
Dragar must wait to whip his tiny little hammers.
All right, and let me organize that. Alton, you're able to act first.
Foul beasts, please unhand those villagers. If they are to all perish, then perhaps I will not receive payments.
And as you say that, you see another villager's throat get ripped out and the life kind of fall away from him as his flailing arms drop to the ground. The other one is still kind of fighting off. He has the wolf's jaw in his hand. You see blood dripping from the hands that he has caught the wolf's jaw in, and he's screaming for help.
And I will leap into action, and I have my 2 silvered short swords ready as I prepare to fillet the fierce poopy.
All right.
And apparently a 10 is not going to be enough, I would imagine.
You would imagine correct.
And as you see him recklessly swing and miss his target, you would quickly see a glint of anger in his eyes as he takes a swipe with his other sword and scores a much more substantial hit.
And that one hits.
Oh, why this macro is not rolling damage? Whatever. I'll do that later.
If you click the word itself, it'll roll the damage.
Well, it is an impressive 1 damage.
Yeah, it is very underwhelming as you almost miss him. You slice into the back of its hind leg. It lets out a growl and stops trying to bite the man's throat off and positions himself around in your direction. The other one also looking to do the same, as the third one is kind of surveying the area still. Reader, you're next to act.
For a moment, he looks behind himself, thinking, maybe I should just run for it. But then he realizes that these kind of animals, if they see him break from the group, he's just going to be run down, and he just kind of resigns himself to having to stay here and fight, and just pulls back to full draw and looses an arrow at the one that turned its attention toward Alton.
Perfect, and go for a...
And I'm assuming the arrow goes wide.
It does. You're not able to collect yourself enough. The thoughts of fleeing still kind of overweigh the your ability to calm yourself, and kind of shaking, you shoot wide, not even really close to the wolf at all. And with that, it is up, and it lunges forward at Alton, trying to bite with its jaw. Let's see if it does so. Or its fang, sorry, not its jaw. 17 to hit. And it does 3 damage to you, Alton, as it bites onto your arm. And do a strength save to see if it rips you down, as you feel this gnawing kind of ripping at the flesh of your forearm.
That is what the creature believes is going to happen. But as he bites that my skin, Shimmering Field deflects his blow, as I will use my reaction to shield the attack.
Nice. And yeah, so he bites onto your arm, but just in time you cast shield, which nullifies obviously the attack. The wolf, confused by it, is gnawing, but for whatever reason not drawing blood or tearing flesh. It backs off, looking confused as a beast can look. Val, you're up next.
Val, too, will mimic Reader's pose as he looks at this scenario, looks at what he seems to be an idiot of a sorcerer fighting 2 wolves on his own, and he looks behind him where the mist has probably closed them in, and decides that running would also be a bad idea as much as he wants to, and he would fire his crossbow at the weakest looking of the wolves, hoping to quickly take it down.
It is the one that Alton striked. And just waiting for you to. Oh, there you go.
And his arrow is probably
Almost clips Alton right in the back of the head. Actually, it just flies over his shoulder, narrowly missing him, and not even really close to the wolf at all. It would almost seem to like a bystander that it looked like you shot at him, but it was
Oh, child, please be careful. You're scaring me.
Gah, I meant that to take off your head.
And then anybody with a passive perception of 13 or higher, I believe that's almost everybody, right? Except Alton?
Mine's only 12.
No, yours
No,
is higher.
Alton has
Yours
a
is higher.
13. He can sense it as well.
All right, then that's Val, Alton, and Dragar, right? Yes, Dragar. You see in the distance a shape that looks quite familiar, and it is the beast that stole Bethany, the barmaiden's, or the barmaiden that was recently serving you guys drinks. He has her corpse now dangling in her hand as it becomes quickly apparent that she is no longer alive. Blood pouring down from her throat. This beast hinds up on its two back legs, now towering much higher than he first seemed. A good 6, probably 8 feet tall. He holds this lifeless corpse in his hand, blood dripping down from his his mouth, and he lets out this horrifying howl that just completely stuns and shocks everybody in the area. The wolves back down, and everybody kind of draws their attention towards him as you guys see this werewolf that escaped appear 30 feet in front of you, and it becomes quite a fearful sight for pretty much anybody. Next up is who we got? Dragar.
So, like, is my character, like, is he stunned?
No, he's not stunned. It just kind of like
It just
overcame
take a step
the
back,
combat.
basically.
It like literally in the middle of combat, you hear this
Blood-curdling.
bone-chilling howl that just curdles your blood, and you see this beast holding the lifeless corpse of the barmaiden that just recently you had a conversation with.
And he's 30 feet in front of me, huh?
Yep.
Okay, at this point, my Dragar would be just enraged that something had tried to attack Alton, and he wouldn't really understand what was going on with the whole Val thing, but he didn't have really time, so he kind of looks back and he's like confused, but continuing forward. I would imagine I'm already at the group of wolves. So are they running away, or are they just kind of stopped?
They just stopped.
Yeah, so I'm taking a swing at the first wolf that's closest to Alton. I'm taking the hardest swing that I possibly can with my silver longsword that I picked up from the bladesmith.
All right, go ahead. And you do slice into him. Roll your damage to see how devastating it is. 5. Very nice. You, as the wolf is no longer really paying attention and looking at this hideous creature, you are able to take it by surprise quite easily, and you land your short sword slashing right across its face. You actually draw quite a bit of blood, and it kind of lets out a whimper and falls back a bit, and then looks at you and growls. Next up is the last wolf that has not acted, the one that was kind of surveying the area, and seeing you do that, Dragar, he kind of dashes in at you and tries to gnaw at your back. Let's see if he's able to do so. No, he misses. And next up is Alton. And as you kind of are seeing this situation unfold, you look to your left and right and see that other wolves are attacking the other groups that came with you, and it quickly becomes apparent that this might be a losing battle. You see the 13 odd villagers being mangled and such by these wolves. What do you wish to do?
Can't hear you, Alden.
Alton would look upon the situation, and he would feel that it might be a bit helpless, but perhaps that is why bards sing fantastic tales. And he would lift up his two short swords and bring them upon the already injured wolf. Let me give you that attack. The first strike against the wolf is a 20,
Nice, it's a hit for sure.
as he hits the injured wolf for 7 damage.
And you slay him. He drops to the ground. You hear a whimper as he falls lifeless, blood kind of dripping from his torso.
Dragar, we must be careful. It appears that our situation is not going as well as I had hoped.
You are right, Alden. Maybe we should go.
Perhaps a tactical withdrawal would be in order, yes?
Yes.
Our
And-
quarry's dead. Our prey
Dragar,
is stronger than we thought.
And having slayed the wolf that was in combat with me, are there any more engaged with me directly?
There is one that is within 5 feet of you also.
Alright, I will strike out at him as well. Is that 13 going to hit?
That is a hit.
Alright, as I look to the other wolf, I swipe at it fiercely, and I cut it across the face for 6 damage.
You do, and it growls fiercely at you as it looks like it wants to kind of retaliate. Next up is the creature that has Bethany, and he throws the corpse to the ground and charges at you guys with the speed that probably no one has ever seen before. He comes upon actually Reader, and
Oh, no.
make a strength check right now as he tries to grab you.
Straight strength or athletics?
Strength, athletics or acrobatics. It's just a straight up contest. And you easily are able to dodge out of the way. He is more of kind of a brute force charge and just tries to bear hug you. And at the last second, you kind of dash to the side, doing like a somersault roll, just narrowly missing this creature's grasp as he just like is in this blood rage, just like snapping his jaw that has like human eyes still, but this wolf's jaw, and he's just like frantically. He thinks he has you, but you're able to dodge it. Next up is you, actually, and this creature is like right basically on top of you, and as it misses, it looks over to the side where you've somersault rolled and picked yourself back up, and it's just like blood and drool kind of dripping from its mouth. You hear him say, "So hungry."
Would I have to disengage to get out of its immediate reach?
Yes, you'd have to disengage to not provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay. I'm gonna disengage and scurry back to where I'm moving away from this thing, and so that the wolf that's attacking Dragar from behind, so that I can see that one, and then Dragar's on the other side of it, and also just trying to get maybe 20 feet if possible away from this horrible werewolf. And I'm just like bending down low and scurrying away. I just call to everyone who's sort of maybe already thinking this: if we run all together, we might live.
Yes, as long as the fastest one of us, would probably survive, yes. Well, that seems like a very strange strategy for the slow of us, though.
And is that anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
That's all my actions.
All right.
Wolf 1 is dead.
Yes, he is dead. And Val, you're up, and just as you're having thoughts, much like everybody else is, on whether you're going to flee. Oops, I just deleted your initiative. My bad. Whether you're going to flee or fight, you hear a voice from behind you, and it's this calm, eerie kind of voice that just pierces this mist and chaos of the snapping, and he says, "Now, my pets, we don't want to hurt the master's potential visitors, do we?" And with that, the beast that was kind of in this rage comes to a stop, and he starts kind of panting, and he looks at this man that you guys all turn around, and as you turn around, you see a wolf a giant wolf transforming into a human. This guy, 6'4", just rippling muscles underneath this kind of leather clothing that just appears uh, around him. He has these deep red eyes that are glowing in the mist, and for whatever reason, this voice kind of calms the monster that was in this rage. And he looks to you guys and says, "It appears you've been fated to come and meet my master."
Dragar will kill your wolf, then Dragar kills you too. Ha ha ha.
Dragar, is it?
Dragar, you don't forget my name.
You will learn your place, surely, you stupid dwarf.
Yes, Dragar, perhaps we should negotiate. It seems a lot better than dying.
It seems we've stepped too far.
And with that, he holds his hand up and kind of gives a flick, and the wolves immediately calm down and back away. Also, this werewolf seems to be in a trance, and he actually walks up past you guys nonchalantly, doesn't even look threatened whatsoever, and he walks up to the man who is now transformed into a werewolf and kind of pets him. And he transforms from his beast form back to a man and is just kind of in the fetal position on the ground, saying that, just whining that he's so hungry and that he can't quench his hunger. And he just says, now, my pet, it will all be right. We will feed you, don't worry.
I would just like to say that I am sorry about your one wolf. He was very aggressive, and I had to defend myself. You know how it is.
That is not important to me. Your destiny will not be decided by me. And with that, he gives like a little whistle, and the wolves kind of like sit down, and then he starts to walk away and waves his arms, and the wolves start walking with him. As you guys are just kind of like stuck in this shocked phase, this man is able to calm not only wild beasts, but this ravenous werewolf. And he walks a good 20 feet away from you guys, and as you look around, there seems to be no other survivors than you and several other wolves that have kind of made their way and segregated around him. A good 13 of them now, and then the werewolf and this mysterious man with the red beating eyes. And he says, I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll meet, but for now, it is farewell. And he just kind of steps back into the mist, and within minutes, you're no longer able to see him or any of the wolves.
Whoever he was, next time I'll have his blood.
Dragar, remember his face.
No, I would always remember his face. He was quite a specimen, don't you agree, Dragar?
Oh, geez, Alton, you always like that.
He's so muscular. I think he is more muscular than you.
Psh, never.
I sense jealousy. It's okay. You just have to work out more.
And as
Dragar, smack him with hammer.
As you guys are kind of discussing this and just probably in shock that you are able to walk away with your lives, you feel the mist start closing in on you, and even your new compatriots that are side by side, maybe 5 feet away, are completely covered by this mist, and you get this choking sensation that Val has already felt. And everyone make a con save as you are literally being choked alive by this mist. Everybody but Val makes their save. Val, you take a point of exhaustion, and then as you wonder whether you're going to be able to hold out and not be choked by this mist, it quickly disperses and leaves you in the forest that you would presume that you have already, the forest that you're in. Alton, with your passive perception, you quickly notice that there's no longer any dead bodies on the ground. No dead wolf. No nothing.
Roll20 hates me.
Perhaps this was all an illusion. Perhaps they just wanted us to see a very handsome man.
Dragar no understand. What do you mean?
I do not know. I have not seen this magic before.
And as everybody else looks around, you quickly realize that all the bodies are gone also.
Yes, either it was a trick or all of our friends have been taken. Let us hope it was a trick. It would be a very dark day if the goddess of beauty was truly killed by a werewolf.
And you can all give a perception if you like.
Now let's see the next critical failure.
Oh,
Ooh.
fantastic! A 5.
Oh no, now I get a good roll.
Nice. All right. Val and Reader, you notice, kind of looking around, that something is very off right now. Something doesn't seem right, and as you look at these trees, they're unfamiliar. Even a completely different type of tree that you were once in. They're dead and no life on them whatsoever. All the leaves completely eroded. They don't seem to be anywhere. And you quickly realize that this is not the forest that you entered.
And Val would begin to hum something in Elvish, and the only line he speaks in common in this whole several-lined song that he's humming is, "It seems we've stepped too far." And then he'd say out loud when he was done, "We're somewhere else."
And
Well,
what do you mean?
Yeah, we are somewhere else. We went into the forest. We are not at the town anymore.
And I pull out my sword and hack at one of these trees, just to kind of point out, and I say, "These aren't trees that we were. These aren't the trees we were in before."
How do you know this? A tree is a tree. I don't know. I mean, it is that.
means that Dragar no longer in the same forest?
And
Don't
Reader
understand.
chimes in saying, "I've lived on the Sword Coast all my life," and he has that kind of that apprehensive look again, almost like the wolves are going to come back any moment.
Wait.
Just staring at the flora, and we're not there anymore.
Wait, there are different types of trees? Tell me about this. I've never seen many trees.
Alton, come on now, Driz. Who cares where we are? We need to finish smashing people. Let's do this thing.
Yes, but I don't know where to go to smash.
Who
The only
cares?
people left to smash are us.
Let's go for wolves then. Gee, look, what's going on? I don't understand.
But they are invisible
See
now.
any
Don't you
wolves?
understand? They are invisible. You killed an invisible wolf?
You watch me go, I got mighty hammer.
Looking around, Reader is able to see a path 20 feet in the tree line, which is really peculiar, and even more kind of cementing the fact that you're not where you should be, because there should be no path in the misty forest, and it actually seems like kind of a dirt road, wagon marks on it. You know that the misty forest itself does not have any kind of trade route going through it, so this even more like kind of rectifies the fact that, however possible, you are not where you started, and it starts heading kind of westward.
Well,
And you'd point that out to the group, and just also you'd hear him just like cursing in just really guttural Elvish. "I'm never getting home at this rate."
and do not worry about it. As long as we are not going to the Underdark, it should be okay.
Dragar thinks we should go down the road.
Yes, people make paths normally. Monsters do not usually make paths unless they are like a dragon. If it is a dragon, then we will all die. But I don't believe it is.
Or at least
Are-
the dragon wouldn't be riding in a cart.
Are you sure? You tell me now there are multiple types of trees. Perhaps there are multiple types of dragons.
The only dragon I've seen in a cart stood like a human.
Oh, tell me of this. What is
Not
it?
for long.
Is it some sort of strange surface creature like you?
And I'm imagining you guys are having this conversation as you're kind of walking down this path at this point, not just kind of standing in the forest. And within about 20 minutes, you come to this kind of half stone wall going around the perimeter and opening up the tree line into this vast valley. It's really hard to make out how vast it is because the mist is all around you and cutting off most of your vision, but you do see a good 40 feet or maybe 60 feet in the distance what seems kind of like a town. But again, it's not Daggerford. This town looks quite different. The building's not even the same kind of architectural design. It's very hard to even make it out, as this mist almost seems to be like funneling you into this city.
Dragar would motion to stop and just talk about taking off into this town, looking at the different scenery, and be hesitant about it. Ask the group how they felt.
Yes,
I don't like this mist.
let us tread carefully. Perhaps it is a dangerous place that we should not go.
And are we gonna head into town or?
Well, we can stop on the outskirts and at least.
Dragar says go into town, but we must watch each other's backs. Yes.
Yes, Jagar, perhaps you can lead the way, and I will be right behind you.
I don't necessarily like too many people, so we'll see what happens.
I don't like your plan, sorcerer. From what I've seen, you're rash.
Oh,
You're
yes,
brash.
I am rash, and you are very bad at aiming your bow.
If you get killed, it's not our fault. You might
Oh,
cause a problem.
well, if I
I
die, it
will
is a
protect
personal
my-
problem. You know?
My mighty hammers and silver sword will protect my friend. Do not worry.
Yes, I will.
Let
I
us
will.
go.
I will hide in the shadows like a coward. Oh, I mean, like a you, right? Lead the way, Jagar. I will help you.
Yes.
And Val would, slowly sheath his sword back that he had started to draw at that insult and says to Alton, "Don't fool with me, sorcerer. For now you're a friend."
Oh, you like to make threats?
No more talking. Let us go. Come on, let's go.
Yes,
Come on.
let us go.
And as you walk this gravel road, it leads to the village, obviously. These houses are tall and dark and kind of not so much wide as they are tall. They almost look like giant tombstones. Nestled among these dwellings are a handful of what looks like shops, but all the buildings and all the shops are completely kind of boarded up. Even the doors, all the windows, most of them boarded up. As you look to this one house, it looks very almost elegant in a creepy kind of way is the only way to really explain it. Very tall. It has these windows with these fancy kind of iron frames, and you hear a soft whimpering as your eyes draw towards a pair of children standing at the front of that door.
I don't like that house.
What do you find wrong with it?
Well, normally people don't whimper in front of houses like that. They whimper when they're about to be killed.
Oh, do you think it is us?
Doubtful.
Are the children looking at us? Or are they facing at the door as if they've been locked out, or what's their
You see what looks like maybe a 10-year-old girl trying to comfort a little boy who is holding as far as you could tell from this distance, a teddy bear or something like that.
Do you think we should check it out?
Oh, but of course, perhaps they know about the dark secrets of the werewolf.
We shall meet some new people. It should
Yes.
be fun.
Stand by me, Jagar, and I will talk with you.
I hope so, because I am not good at it.
Tiny children, are you there? Can you hear me?
And as you walk up to them, the girl shushes the boy, and then she turns to you, and she gives you a really puzzled look, as if she doesn't recognize you, and says, "You're a weird looking man."
Yes. Some people mistake the word weird and beautiful, but I understand. It is very common.
Why are your ears so pointy?
It is because I am a drow.
A drow?
Yes, have you heard of what a drow is?
No, I've not heard of that. Is it a
It i-
pointy-eared man?
it is like an uncorrupted elf. If you do not know what an elf is, it is like a human, but better, you know?
I've never heard of such a thing. And then the boy starts crying again,
Oh, why are you crying, child?
and he looks to you and he says, "There's a monster in our house."
Dragar says, what monster?
And then she says, uh, "Our parents locked it in the basement, but we're so afraid. We ran outside. We left our baby brother upstairs. We were so frightened we couldn't grab him.
You left your baby brother behind. That doesn't seem very nice.
Please help
Dragar.
us. Please help us. We're way too scared to go in there."
Alton, should we go and save the child?
Uh, what would Jagar do? Would Jagar risk his life for a stranger?
Dragar will rescue life for a small baby, yes. Dragar will smash down door with hammer and go save child.
All right, you do that, and I will supervise you from right behind you. Okay?
Monster basement, child upstairs. Yes, said the little boy.
Yes.
So I would kick down the door.
Oh yes, yes. Good.
Would I be able to glean any other information from these kids just by looking at them?
Looking at them, what are you trying to...
Just like insight.
You can give it an insight check.
I
Jagar,
rolled it.
You
Check
rolled
out.
it?
put your back
Um,
into it, Jagar. Yes.
From that roll, you seem to feel that they're not lying, they're being honest, and that they're genuinely afraid.
Dragar kicks down door.
All right, perfect. As you kick down the door, it's basically like a little vestibule that leads to another door. It's basically like a patio, or not a patio, but I guess vestibule is the word for it. Another door leading to a... So you kick open a door, and then you just see another door, like
I would
10
look
feet
at
down.
Alton and I'd be like, what is this? Another door? And I would take out a hammer and I would smash that door.
Perfect.
Oh, fantastic form. Fantastic.
Yeah, and you smash open the door, and it leads immediately to a kind of main floorway. To the right is a giant spiraling staircase with red carpet. In front of you, across the hall, what looks like 3 to 4 doors, and then immediately to your right, another door. The hall is kind of wood paneled. It looks like um, there's these sculpted kind of vines and flowers and such kind of sculpted into the wooden frame of the walls. There's a decorative fireplace to the left immediately as soon as you enter the room. And other than that, it just seems to be like a bunch of like dressers and stuff. It seems like this is kind of like the main entranceway of the house. And,
A hybrid creature. What do you believe we should do?
Talking to Reader.
Yeah, you are the
Okay.
only hybrid here.
So
Would you prefer I call you a mutt or hybrid?
as he was going to his right before his boot made contact with that second door, Reader was fishing into his pockets for some lockpicks and things. He's like, blah, blah, and then boom, the door swings open, and after that he kind of shrugs and follows along behind Alton. And hearing that, he pauses for a moment, turns and goes to a knee to the children, and tries to say in a soft tone, just. And then the kids were speaking like regular common, or at least what his brain is understanding is common. But,
yes.
So then he just speaks to them in the same language. What kind of monster was this?
It's a scary one.
And without trying to trigger them, it wasn't wolfy or.
No, far worse than that.
He's thinking far worse. But it's locked in the basement.
Yes. We only hear it. We've never actually seen it, but it's a terrible sounding creature.
And then a thought occurring to him because, Drager has kicked 2 doors down and entered the building, probably on heavy dwarven feet. And went, "Where are your parents? Why haven't they come out with all the commotion we just caused?"
And with that, they say that they think their parents got trapped downstairs with the monster.
Dragar no care about parents. Dragar rescue little boy. Dragar go back with group. We need to do other stuff.
Yes, I believe we have a set of stairs. You must climb them, right?
And I don't know where it says stairs are.
The stairs on the left, I believe, right?
Right. So I kind of drew a really crude map of what you guys see, and it's incredibly crude. But it gives you an idea. So you guys came from the bottom left-hand corner. You see a door immediately to your right. Kind of decorative fireplace and wood paneling with these fancy vines all throughout. It looks like a very nice house, but no life form actually seen inside it whatsoever. You see 4 doors basically directly across from you, and then the staircase to the right.
I jump. Dragar would jump, or at least he would look to Alton and the rest of the group, and he would say, "I would like to rescue this child. Are we going, or what?
The child was upstairs, so let us go upstairs. And if the monster is upstairs, then we can fight it or flee for our lives.
Yeah, smash stuff. Okay, let's go.
So you guys are heading straight upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And Reader would notice that Val shows up like a couple seconds later, and he's kind of panting. And then Val smiles and says, "What did I miss?"
And Reader just gestures toward the 2 smashed-in doors, just as Drager and Alton are entering, and they're going up to save a boy, I think.
So as you go up the stairs, there's unlit oil lamps all mounted on the wall of this, again, very elegant-looking hall. Hanging above the mantelpiece is a wooden framed portrait of what looks like a family. 2 of the children appear to be smiling, and then a father is cradling a little baby in his arms. Standing underneath this picture is a suit of armor, and then more doors kind of flank each side of the armor. And let's see what we got here. We got 1 door to the left and 1 door to the right at the top of this, and then the stairs again spiral and continue going upstairs to what you presume maybe a 3rd floor.
At this point, I would actively start searching for the child, floor by floor, I guess.
You did say that it was on the 2nd floor, so you have basically door 1 or door 2.
I think my character at this point would be ready to go, and I think he would just go up to the first door and try to open it gently to not stir up too much more commotion.
Okay, and as you open up this door, it becomes apparent that it's probably something like a conservatory of some type. There's a brass-plated chandelier hanging from the ceiling, upholstered chairs lining the walls, and stained glass hanging from the sides of the wall. It looks like men and women and children singing and playing, kind of all decorative along the wall. A harpsichord is sitting in a bench to the northwest corner of it, and then near that is a fireplace.
No child?
No child. It does not look like anything that a child would actually stay in.
I would look over to Alton and say, I guess there's no child in this room.
Or perhaps that means that the child is in the other room. Or it also might mean that the children outside are liars.
Well, I hope they are not liars. Let's just go check the other room.
Right? Check it. I will be right behind you.
Okay. So I would go over and I would check the other door.
All right, and as you open this door, red velvet drapes cover the windows of this room. An exquisite mahogany desk and matching high back chairs face the entrance, and another fireplace above which hangs a framed picture of a windmill perched atop a rocky crag. Situated in the corner of these rooms are two overstuffed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves line the south wall, and a rolling wooden ladder allows one to easily kind of look at the shelves. And weirdly enough, no child in this room.
I would look over to Alton again and say, again, there is no child.
Oh, perhaps there is a child in secret. Maybe it is hidden, hiding.
I think
Perhaps.
I think these children outside might be lying to us. So maybe we should go smack them around and see what's going on.
Oh, I love to smack children around, but it must be with all the knowledge that we have. Perhaps the
Dragar
child
does not
perhaps
care
the
about.
child was scared and it ran upwards.
Dragar wants to find out what's going on here.
I don't see why not. Go talk to the two outside.
So at this point, I would go downstairs, I guess.
Before we leave, I would like to try. Is it possible to pull the painting from the wall?
Pull the painting from the wall?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, and you're able to do so. The painting, as you actually pull it across, you see that the apparent, you would assume to be wife, is giving a look of like scorn to the baby. Everyone else seems to be happy, but you can't help but get this weird feeling that this woman is just giving the child that the father is holding this really mean-looking look on her face. You're able to pull it down easily though, and behind it just the wall.
Looks like a stepmother. I know all about stepmothers. They are not the nicest of people. Well, at least this is not quite an illusion. I can hold it and feel it.
Dragar is confused. Why you need painting?
Oh, I do not need the painting. I just wanted to verify that this is not some trick of the eyes.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Let us
are
go
we-
upstairs.
Going upstairs, or are we going back outside?
I think we're going back outside.
Okay. With that, the children are still standing there, and they say, "Have you found our brother?"
Dragar no see child in second floor. What's going on?
And with that, they say that he's not on the second floor. I'm sorry, we were scared. We made a mistake. You're so strange looking. We've never seen people like you before. He's on the third floor.
Dragar just kicked down 2 doors. I run upstairs. I go in left door. Then I go in right door. And then I come back downstairs. And now you stupid children tell me he's in third floor?
And they look absolutely terrified as you say that. And they're like, I'm sorry, mister. We're just scared of the monster. We just want our brother back.
He's on the third floor.
Dragar would turn to the group and be like, what now? What do we do now?
Oh, little children, I must admit we also lied. We went to the third floor, and we saw the monster there, and I believe he ate your brother.
And with that, they let out a scream, and they just looked very devastated by this.
Dragar's
You couldn't
phone.
save our brother?
No, it appears that he was eaten. But it was an honorable death. You know, all of the blood and the clawing and all of that stuff. You know.
Dragar would be watching this, but he'd be quiet just to see the reaction of the kids. But he would hope that Alton is, mentally he would be like, "What's going on?"
And the kids start crying immediately. And they start blaming themselves for being afraid and running and not thinking to grab their brother. They just say that they were so scared and that they forgot.
It is okay. Perhaps we can go find your brother's body and bring him back to you, so you can be together forever.
Dragar thinks children should go see what's on third floor, maybe. Now that we've seen the monster, it's not there anymore, hopefully. Maybe they should go check it out.
and they are horrified by this sound and absolutely like refusing to go and say that they can't go back in the house.
You cannot? Why can you not?
We're too scared, they say.
What if we go with you?
Dragar will be right behind you too with Alton.
And they say, please, no, we don't want to go in the house. The monster will get us.
Come to conflict. Come with us into the house.
Reader, what do you think?
So, when you found the library before you exited, again, partially just trying to push away all this craziness, he would have kind of lost himself a little bit once he saw all those books, because he's right at home in that kind of space.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have just kind of lingered behind to peruse the library. Unless that kid screamed super loud, then he would have run outside. Otherwise,
So you can give a perception, and as you're looking through these bookshelves, it holds hundreds of tomes covering topics ranging from history to warfare to alchemy. There are also several other shelves containing first editions of what look like poetry, none of which you really recognize, and this is all very foreign kind of books to you.
Mhm.
Go ahead and give it a perception, though.
Eventually.
Perfect.
13.
And as you're looking through these books, you kind of run your hand along one of them, and it feels much different than the rest, and very trope-like. You pull it, and behind is a closed door, as the shelf gives away, and it's a fake shelf.
At this point, does the group realize after I said, what did you think, Reader, that Reader's not with us?
And Alton might have noticed that he was just lingering behind as well as you were walking down.
You know, Edgar, perhaps these children are not our enemies. Perhaps we can go up to the third floor.
Yes, Dragar says okay. Let's do this then. Let's go up and see what happens.
All right, children. If we do not come back, then we have been eaten. Okay.
See you in a few minutes.
As they walk in, it would have been timed so that Reader would be leaning over the railing, looking down at them, just calling out, "There's something you should see," and he goes back into the library.
Well, what is it, Reader?
Maybe we should hurry up then, eh?
Is it the dead brother?
Yes, is it a dead baby? I've been looking for a dead baby.
And once they make their way into the library, you'd be pointing, there's a door that they didn't tell us about, but I haven't attempted to enter.
Oh.
Dragar is very interested what's behind said door.
Do you want to kick it? I know you want to kick it.
I do not know if kicking will work on this door. Maybe we should check it out a little.
And kind of walking, the bookshelf kind of just pushes away inside to this room. It's a room that contains more bookshelves. Reader, if you take time to look at them, they would be describing kind of fiendish summoning rituals, of what you would think is necrotic. The book itself is called The Cult or The Priest of Osubus. And just kind of flipping through the pages, you don't necessarily can discern any of it, but you can do a check if you like to kind of see what's going on.
It does read Draconic and Infernal, if that matters, or if it's in a totally different language. I guess not.
Yeah, my character reads a lot of different languages as well.
It's written in common.
Okay. Oh, but it's just talking about crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's stuff that you don't really understand fully.
Be Arcana or
yeah, Arcana will work for me.
Not much.
Alright, so yeah, you would need to spend more time with the book to actually fully understand it. It seems to be something that you've never read before. It seems like some kind of summoning ritual, but you can't really make out what it is.
And this is just a hidden alcove of the library. It's not like a living space or.
No, it's definitely a hidden door of like bookshelves. And studying the room more, you would see a heavy wooden chest with clawed iron feet that stand against the south wall of it. The lid is half closed. Sticking out is a skeleton in leather armor.
Upon noticing that, you would almost like clutching the book to himself like a little shield, he would leap back 3 feet, maybe even bouncing off the back wall.
And Ausar would draw his sword and lift the lid of this chest with Blood Crown.
And as you lift the chest with it, it becomes apparent that it looks like this poor skeleton was trying to maybe break into it, and you see 3 poison darts, much rotted and decayed, sticking into his chest. As it seems like at one time this chest was loaded as a spring trap, but this poor sucker fell victim to it.
Is there
Inside.
any... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Val, is there anything inside the chest?
Besides a dead man,
It
a
contains
poisoned man.
It contains 3 black blank books with leather covers. There's also 3 spell scrolls, it looks like. A deed to the house, a deed to what looks like a windmill, and then a written note, it seems like, which has this kind of leather, or this red wax seal, a seal that you've never seen before.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw one of those on the paper here.
I'd pick up the scrolls and put those in my pouch for later use, and then pick up the manuscripts and toss those to Reader, who seems to be most intrigued with books. And then I'd look over at dang it, I'm spacing names.
Alton.
Alton Dragar, Reader.
Dragar, and say, "There's a dead man. I like those children less and less."
Yes, this chest with dead man was just upstairs. Weird. I do not fully comprehend.
Perhaps their brother was a grown man when he died.
Except
Do
they
you
said
guys want
he
to
was
actually check out the basement and take on this monster, or what's the deal?
As he suggests that, Reader kind of like looks back at the book in his hands, and he thinks, whatever's down there probably is far worse than what we saw out in the woods. This book talks about summoning magic.
Yes, maybe there is some kind of form of magic down in the basement. I understand what you were saying.
Perhaps we should take these beautiful books that are in this chest, just waiting for us to claim them.
Oh, it is. Books are always good to read. Intelligence is a necessary thing.
And you
These are
said
special books. They are guarded with a evil chest, so they must be valuable.
and the
Sorcerer.
black bound ones were blank, you said?
Yes, and then there was the 3 spell scrolls, and then what looks like probably a letter which has a wax broken seal on it. The seal is broken, but it is a letter nonetheless.
Can we read the letter?
Yes, you can. Who is reading it? I imagine
I
Alton
think-
or Reader.
I would grab Alton aside actually and say, "You know magic. Tell me what this does." And I'd hold up one of the scrolls I swiped.
I have to read all of the scrolls to know what they do.
You only know about this one, I do believe.
Well, then I'd have to see it. What is it? What am I seeing?
You can
And
give
I'd-
an Arcana check if you want to see if you can discern what it is. And you're only showing them one, or all 3 of
I'm
them?
only showing him one.
Okay.
I know a lot about the magic. Let me show you.
Every time they talk to each other, I imagine they're both just speaking to each other in Undercommon, and you're just thinking, fucking Drow the whole time. But of course, he's not ever going to voice that, because Drow
I
are
don't
very-
know Undercommon.
Okay.
I know Undercommon.
You're able to discern that the one that he shows you is a spell called Bless.
Oh, it looks like they have the magical arts of a cleric.
And Reader, if you open up this letter, it is introduced with the writing in this very kind of fancy cursive. very old looking. It says, "My most pathetic servant, I am not your Messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However many souls you have bled on your hidden altar, however many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but the worms withering in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortune spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a stillborn son. Cursed by darkness, I have no doubts. Save you from your wretchedness? I think not. I much prefer you the way you are. And signed, your dreadlord and master, Strahd von Zorovich."
He would have read that out loud, and at the end, just thinking, Cyrix cock. Like, of course, there's evil cultists and a dread lord.
Dragar finds
Dungeon
this very
altar.
interesting.
And at that point, he, at least to himself, he's convinced that there is an altar stained with blood and a circle and a monster in the basement. But I mean, he's at the
Does
same time, he kind of like wants to know.
does this windmill deed does it say anything interesting? It looks like such a beautiful place. The picture.
It just says that it's a deed to a windmill, titled the Bone Grinder. Is this the name of it?
Oh, what an ominous name. Perhaps it is used for the grinding of bone.
Shall we check the third floor?
Yeah,
Better the
either
third
way.
floor than the basement.
Unless the children are lying, as they are prone to do.
Let us see if we can find this child.
I'd sooner believe there is no child, and that those two children outside want us killed.
This house cannot kill me. Maybe in the basement. Well, I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
At this point, Reader's running calculations in his head. If I do a running leap through the window, will I survive if I hit the floor from the third?
Also, reader, as you're doing this, you're interrupted as Val shoves this scroll into your chest and says, "You may have better use of this than I."
That was the blessed one?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh yeah, I thought Alton kept that.
I don't know.
No.
I
No,
think I
he-
would have demanded it back.
It appears that our rogue friend has sticky fingers out of character. Sticky
So
fingers
we're-
often get chopped off though, so it's okay.
So are we heading upstairs or?
Yeah, I want to.
All right. So if you are climbing the kind of red marbled staircase, you come up to a dusty balcony, and this, as you get to the third floor, this entire area is not as well kept as the two floors below. The two floors below were like pretty much kept in pristine shape, not a speck of dust anywhere. It looks like it was clean and almost kind of like this shine to it. As you come up here, there's just dust and cobwebs everywhere. There's a suit of black plate armor standing against the one wall, cobwebs draped all over it. Oil lamps are mounted on oak-paneled walls, which are carved with woodlands and scenes of trees and like little tiny critters and stuff. And this is another kind of like just a picture of the wall has these like very fancy like wooden carvings in them. Other than that, you see, let's see how many doors you see. Two doors to your left and about another three doors over to your right that you can enter, or two more doors to your right. Sorry.
What is this beautiful set of armor?
And is Alton going to inspect it?
Yeah.
All right. So as Alton runs his arm, kind of like I imagine him putting a finger on the dust and kind of just like wiping the dust off of this old black armor. It suddenly lurches forward, actually, out of nowhere, dust kind of bursting from the armor, and it slams into you, shammering to life as this it starts stepping forward and does hit you for. Ugh. Let's see what it hits you for. D6. 5 damage, and roll initiative as this armor has suddenly shammered to life.
And the way it moves, it looks like it's like animating, like a person's wearing it. Not that it's some kind of trap that it launched at him or anything.
No, it looks like something's inside of it. Like it actually starts walking to life after it slams, and it kind of positions itself around you guys.
Like it looks like it's in a fighting stance even.
Yes, it does look very menacing. As menacing as an armor can look. And let me kind of clean up the initiative here. This is such a pain in the ass without tokens. Val. And what did Alton roll?
5.
That's Dragar, or 5, okay. What did Reader roll?
4.
And Dragar?
19.
Very nice. And Val?
A 13.
Alright. Alright, Dragar, seeing this armor slam into Alton, almost knocking him like flat back into the railing of the staircase, what do you want to do?
I'll grab onto my trusty warhammer and Dragar would shout out something like, Dragar does not like you hitting his friend, and he would smash the warhammer as hard as he could with bludgeoning damage straight down, two-handed, straight down onto the plate mail.
Alright, go ahead and swing away. You hit. Nice. So you slam into this armor, denting the side of its leg. It kind of like almost stumbles over itself for a second, but then picks itself back up. Next up, we have a Val.
So Val would kind of look over at everyone and say, I like these children less and less. And then he'd take a swipe at the armor, and then quickly backing away, and missing pretty badly, apparently.
You swing into the armor, but your blade just ricochets off of it. This is like very heavy kind of plate mail. You're not able to slash through it. The armor is up next, and Dragar kind of swinging into it. It's going to retaliate at you, slamming into you twice. Your AC being 14. It hits you twice. So let's see what it does to you. Seven damage as it slams into you with basically like a headbutt almost.
Dragar only feels certain pain. You don't hurt Dragar.
As a bit of blood kind of trickles from your nose, what does Alton do?
Oh, I'm not feeling too good. I did not like that strike. But you know what they say. You must die in glorious battle. I'm not very good at that. But I'll try. Oh, that is not going to do it.
It does not do it. As the same as Val, your blade ricochets off of it, not able to kind of dent it.
But of course, this is all but a feint as I use my offhand attack as well.
Perfect.
And it does even worse.
Yeah, same kind of ricocheting.
Dragar, it seems to be impervious to harm. I think we should retreat or surrender, maybe?
Dragar says you should all watch out. My powerful hammer might smash it to pieces.
And Redia, you're up next. As you see all of your companions kind of swinging at this thing, most of their attacks kind of bouncing off.
Clanging off. And he realizes he has no weapons that are meant to fight heavily armored objects like this. So he tries to scurry around, and if possible, just leaning all his weight, give it a push, so hopefully it just falls down the stairs where that Drager can maybe dispatch it.
All right,
That's
so we can do a straight up. You're gonna do a shove.
like to what I do in athletics, or I'm not exactly
Yep.
sure.
I think that would be an athletics contest. It rolled an 18.
Oh no.
Yeah, you try to push into this thing, but it has much more like sturdiness to it than you'd actually think, as it almost seems like it's bolted to the ground as you push all your weight into it as you scurry behind. It doesn't move whatsoever, and then it bats its arm back, almost like knocking you back. Is there any other thing else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, that was all my actions.
All right, Dragar, you're back up.
At this point, the rest of the group's kind of behind me, right? They've all bounced off the armor.
Yep. And you see
Dragar.
Reedier try to push him. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Dragar wonders if we should continue fight against said armor. Dragar, take one more swing, or what you guys think?
I think we run.
Yeah. So at that point, I would scream. I would pick up my hammers as heavy as I could, and I would try to swing out the legs of the armor as hard as I could with my warhammer, and I would scream "Run!" as I did this.
All right, go ahead.
No, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, you swing at it, and it actually catches your hammer in its hand, and it starts to try to tug it out of your hand. You have enough strength to pull it back, but in no way did you come close to striking it. And are you going to try to run?
At this point,
If you do run, you're going to provoke an opportunity attack, unless
Yeah.
you spend next turn disengaging it.
yeah, no, I'm probably just gonna hold off and make sure the group can run first.
All right, Val, you're up next.
Val would mutter, "Screw this," and almost jumping down the stairs, he's gone. He would get down probably either to the second floor, or if he could, all the way outside again.
You couldn't make it all. You could make it to about heading down to the main floor. You pretty much like definitely down to the second floor, and you start heading down to the first floor. With that though, that brings the armor back up, and it's going to try to slam into you again, Dragar. Let's see if it does so. Apparently, I'm on fire.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And we keep rolling failures.
Yeah. Roll 20 life.
Did you activate Zephyr mode for us?
I may or may not have. You take another 5 damage, Dragar.
At this point, I'm bleeding pretty good. I'm still up though.
Alton, you're up, and you see Dragar taking a like a beating of his life.
Yeah, Dragar, I'm not very familiar with how a barbarian works, but you don't seem very angry about this. I guess I should retreat. I will meet you at the bottom, and please not be dead when I get to the floor, please. And I will withdraw 30 feet away down the stairs.
And you get to exactly where Val is also. Reedier?
Seeing Drager getting repeatedly hit by this thing, and him being on the other side of it, just out of desperation, he pulls out his dagger and just tries to find a joint. And that depended on, can I get a sneak attack on this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's see if it actually hits. He's just
Someone can do it.
digging for any chink in the armor.
Your guys' rolls tonight. Yeah, you try to position yourself and stab it in the back, but you just can't find like a good spot to like kind of pierce through. And again, you just stab your blade into the side of this armor, but it's too like impervious to the blow. You're not able to even like put a scratch on this thing.
And because I already did an attack, would I not be able to attempt acrobatics?
To try to push it again, or
to try to just scurry past it, like tumble past it?
yeah, you can try to do a acrobatics to try to jump away.
Okay, so after the blade just bouncing off one of like the back plate of this thing, he lets his goes with his momentum and does not succeed. So he carries past it, probably getting the attack of opportunity, but isn't able to be sneaky enough to
Yeah, he
pass by unnoticed.
he completely notices you trying to scurry by it, and also slams into you. You take 5 damage, but you're able to get away from it and start heading down the stairs. Also, Dragar, you see this thing just taking a beating and basically taking no damage besides your blow, and just beating the shit out of you. Blood kind of dripping down from your face now from the slams that it's been headbutting you with. What do you want to do?
At this point, yeah, I agree. I'd have to rage out just to get the saving throws. So I'd rage out, but realizing that my group had already left, and I'm just trying to rage to save myself, and I really haven't developed any of my barbarian skills yet. I would rage out, and then I would try to disengage, and I would try to book it as fast as I could down the stairs, figuring this thing would be really slow and probably wouldn't handle stairs well anyway.
Yep. So you're able to run down the stairs, and you get to where everybody else is. Basically, you guys are able to run down after you hear this thing start following you, and you hear the thud, this slow kind of walking. It has no like speed to its step. It just kind of starts slowly walking forward, and you hear it start thudding down the stairs very slowly, one after another. And you're able to make it down to the front door. As you pull at the door, though, you are met with this horrifying realization that the door, now that you entered, is completely locked. And as you pull and tug and swing at it the best you can, it is not budging.
That was the door I smashed open with my foot.
Yep.
Any chance that this lock would be rusty? And Val would go down on his knees and attempt to pick this lock, knowing it's probably useless, swearing about those kids.
Go ahead and try to pick it.
Is that just a dexterity? I don't remember.
Or do you have a thieves kit?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It's sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
It actually is proficiency plus dex.
Okay, so
yeah, picking many doors in your time, you know what you're doing, and as you're kind of have your tools in there and you're wiggling around at the deadbolts and stuff, you hear the tumblers kind of give way, and the sound of a clicking that normally means the success of an unlocked door, but as you go to turn it and pull, it's still somehow locked, even though you know yourself that you just successfully picked it. It will not open, and you hear the thudding slowly making its way down the stairs, as it sounds like it's probably made its way to the second floor.
Dragar don't think there's a little boy anymore.
I never thought there was a little boy.
Perhaps we should make preparations for our last stand. Perhaps, yeah.
Dragar hurting, but ready to throw some hammers.
Yes, I think I will be aiming my crossbow at the staircase. I should see a suit of armor. I will take a shot at it. Yeah.
All right, is everyone gonna kind of ready in action for this?
Do we have line of sight of the suit of armor yet?
You don't see it yet, but it's starting to slowly make its way. You hear it thudding down the stairs. You can prepare an action if you have some kind of range or you want to do something else to kind of plan for this thing coming.
Yeah, I'd like to ready my light hammers.
Val's going to attempt to blend into the shadows and ready his crossbow.
All right.
And Reader is going to go to one of the nearest large window, and he suspects that that'll have the same problem, but he's going to give it a shot anyway and just try to smash it with his club.
All right, go ahead and give it a smash.
Just an attack?
Yep.
Yes, I am handling as well. Whatever.
Much better than I'm doing.
Yeah, you go to smash into this glass window, and as you swing with all your force, you just feel a vibration and the bouncing of your club. Is it?
Yes.
As somehow this window doesn't give way, and it seems like something kind of supernatural or magic is going on here, as you're not even able to break through a window.
He has that falling feeling in the middle of his stomach. He puts the stick back into its little loop and readies his short bow.
And you hear the kind of almost rhythmic thud of this armor making its way downstairs. After probably a few seconds, you all see it start to come down as it shows like no emotion or anything besides this non-relenting kind of urge to end your guy's life. Everyone can take their prepared ranged attack against it.
What initiative are we going by?
We're just gonna keep it the same. No point in rerolling. Dragar will. Oh yeah, you can all do your attack now, and then we'll just start with Dragar again.
And I quite obviously miss.
Readier hits. Dragar and Val miss.
Alton hits it.
Alton does hit it.
Ooh, fantastic.
Nice. So you guys finally unleashing your, what is it, a crossbow and a short bow. You land these two arrows or bolts in this kind of like joint area of the neck, and you hear the snap as the metal gives way and kind of breaks a part of the armor with both of your shots. The armor kind of like does like a little step back as it almost looks like it's knocked over by the force, but then slowly starts thudding down the stairs again. And then we'll commence with Dragar, as nobody else's attack broke through the armor.
Okay.
It does seem like all this kind of strikes are starting to at least weaken it.
So I've chucked one light hammer. I still have another one, so I'm gonna chuck my other light hammer at him as hard as I can.
With a readied action, you only get the one attack. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to use your actual main attack as a throw too.
Well, please focus on not dying, Tregar. That would be very delightful if I did not have part with you.
I'm still trying to stay quite far away from this. I should be directly beside the front door at this point.
Yep, you can still throw your other hammer. How many do you have?
I only have one more light hammer left.
All right, give it a check then. And you do. You are able to hit it. See what happens. Nice. You throw this light hammer with all the force you have, realizing that this is a life or death situation, and that if you don't do something, this armor is surely going to end everyone's life here. Your hammer lands directly in the armor's face, breaking or kind of denting in the entire face, almost caving it in. Normally that would kill any living man, but as this thing is starting to show very visible signs of breaking and being worn down, it still somehow thuds on towards you guys.
Dearest Dragar, when using a ranged attack that is thrown, it is actually strength-based and not dexterity-based, for what that is worth.
All right, thank you for that. I'll fix that.
And next up is Val. This armor looks rather beaten.
Val is at a loss because he can't run, he's hurt, he's exhausted, and his sword won't do anything in this case, and so he just sighs, looks over at everyone and says, "Well, we're gonna die," and reloads his crossbow, staying as far away from the armor as he can.
You can attack in the same turn as a reload.
Can you?
Yeah,
That.
it is true.
Well, then I'll also take that attack then.
Take it.
Oh, that will simply not do. No.
No, that misses again, ricocheting off the armor once again. It is up now, and it makes its way into the main hall, and you're kind of all just cowering at the door, not really sure who it's going to lash out at, and we are going to find out right now. Unfortunately for Readier, it has picked you as its target.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
AC
And,
14.
Farewell, Half-Blood.
oh my god, these rolls tonight.
I will never forget your bravery or lack thereof.
Goodbye, reader.
I apologize for these rolls, guys. You
You
take another 7 damage. Are
So
you down?
as the as he's being pummeled by the thing, still kind of hunched over from the first hit, he just goes right to the ground. Like he hits hit and slams, even bouncing off the ground. And he's at I'm at -2.
All right, Alton, you see this thing knock Reader unconscious. It does look quite beaten at this point, and desperation is probably starting to fill all your guys' minds. What do you wish to do as this kind of last-ditch effort to put an end to this thing?
Yeah, we must make a last stand here. Please, fight until you are dead, and then perhaps fight a bit more, okay? And, if I am not adjacent to the creature, I'd like to shoot it with my crossbow. Before
Yeah.
he can catch me and kill me.
No, you were, I imagine, probably like, yeah, you're able to shoot at it.
Alright, I will pull out I will lock another crossbow bolt in and fire. And apparently my crossbow bolt gets jammed in just a little bit, and I am a bit worried as I drop it and I pull out a short sword and I back away from my companions, hoping that they are more favorable targets.
And Reader will have to make his death save when he gets back. Dragar, you're up, and you're pretty much the last line of defense at this point for everybody.
I would imagine just with the timeline that you've given with the suit of armor coming down and everything, I'm on like, am I on like the 58th second of my rage, or is it completely over now?
Yeah, plenty of time for the rage.
Yeah, you're good. You're still raged out, and even more rage seeing that your newfound companion has just been basically what you can assume at least knocked unconscious and potentially dying.
Okay. Dragar, smash! And I just take my warhammer two-fisted, and it's the only weapon I have really left other than my javelins, and I just, with advantage, I try to smack the crap out of him. And I don't...
Oh, our rolls are very fantastic. What can
Yeah,
I
so
say?
you guys are just gonna die tonight, I think.
Dragar, miss again!
We'll try again next campaign. You have to make a death save, Reader. And Val, you're up, and you see Rhaegar with this rage and might kind of charge at this armor and try to slam into it, but he doesn't do so in a way that even dents it whatsoever. What do you got?
Val drops his crossbow and decides, well, why not? And he hopes for any stroke of luck that he and his sword have been through, and takes a stab at this armor and probably fails horribly. Yep.
I will never forget all of you.
Dragar, miss you already.
You
So
miss. It grabs your.
it
Go ahead.
bounces off. And
And-
Val's just like, it's over.
And it grabs your sword and it kind of rears its head back and it's going to slam into you. And of course, because I haven't rolled under 20 in like 5 turns. Where are you at? Like you're at basically no hit points, eh?
I do believe I'm at 1 because I was stabilized.
Alright, so yeah, it cannot possibly not knock you unconscious. As I guess I should roll to see if it outright murders you, but 7 damage.
7 damage.
Yeah.
I'm just at -6.
And you fall down to the ground dead also, as it's seeming like you might all die.
If
To
you
the
roll
mercy-
one more, I would be dead.
Alton, you're up though, and is there any
Alright.
chance that he could put the murder fest to the end?
Yeah, I will pull out my second short sword and I will say, I will die a glorious death, perhaps as glorious as yours, Bigger. And you see him charge into the fray, both of his short swords swinging. Yes?
Yep.
Ooh. I think his armor is better than 16.
You would assume right, unfortunately.
Well, it has been a good run, a very short run, but it was good.
Yeah, this is a great session. And you're not able to hit it, and as everyone's just kind of like batting away at it, Reedier is slowly bleeding away on the floor. He has to make another death save. Which he's made two now. Dregar, you're up, and you see this armor starting to kind of rear back like it's going to slam again really soon.
I'm
And
just
you know-
raging. I'm just like, Dragar raging! And like, Dragar's mad, and
you know that pretty much your next attack is probably going to kill somebody or at least knock them unconscious, so you got to do something.
Dragar again winds up as hard as he possibly can with two hands on his sturdy warhammer.
I don't even know what to do.
all I can do is laugh at our own failures.
Yeah.
I would just like to point out how many failures we have and how Chris has not rolled under 20 in so long.
Yeah.
Dragar are sad.
All right. Val. This armor is moments away from attacking again. Or, no, Val is a death save. Oh, God.
Roll 20, please. That'd be very good.
At least you guys are making your death saves.
Not
The
for
armor has
long.
now pinpointed Alton, and it slams into you. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Dealing.
Oh,
Dealing.
do not do it. Do not do it.
The way it's got to be. I invited you all here tonight just so I can kill you in the very first session. Does 3 damage.
Ah, you see the powerful strike hit into Alton's body. Blood sprays out of his wounds as he falls to one knee. It has been a good run. It has been a good run. But I will not die! And he runs up and he attacks back. Alton is at 1 life. He will not die so easily.
Do it. Finish it for the love of God. Oh my God.
Oh no! It appears that my attacks are not working.
And it grabs onto both your swords with both of its hands.
Please let go. Please let go. I do not want to die right now.
Gregor, you notice that this thing, as it has both hands occupied with Alton, is completely left open. You get to swing at advantage.
Yes!
There we go.
Hey! Not do your damage. Alright, and as this thing grabs onto Alton's swords, and he looks to be like rearing up to slam into him and end poor Alton's life along with everybody else's, what does it look like as Dragar slams in and destroys this piece of armor?
Dragar at this point is so rage infested, he's pitch red, his whole body, his chest, and all of his tattoos are almost just beet red, and he just slams down as hard as he possibly can with 2 hands and his warhammer on top of the armor, smashing it to the ground, and the arms just continually holding onto Alden's swords, just kind of hold there until the weight falls and drops to the floor.
It does. And you both are left breathless as you look at your 2 other compatriots, and they're on the ground, unconscious, blood pooling from them.
Do not worry. I know what to do. I have a I have a healing kit. Okay, I will save their lives. Okay.
As like blood is pooling out of your own wounds.
Dragar thinks that must be necessary at this point. Good times. Thank God for healing kits. Woof. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're able to instantly stabilize with a healing kit, right?
Yes. That uses 2 out of my 10 uses.
Alright, so you guys are brought back to consciousness, although you're all in incredibly rough shape, basically nearing death. You have this terrible feeling that, and this realization that you're locked into this house, and there's seemingly no way out, and you almost lost your life at the very first thing that you encountered.
Dragar is tired.
Yeah. I think we should rest.
How's
Find
everybody else doing?
maybe we could use like a couple of days rest, perhaps.
Just like pretty much take the house as your own and decide that you're gonna sleep on the first floor.
Yeah.
Nobody opened the basement door. Jesus. Nobody check out any more armor either.
Can we just pick a room and barricade the door? That would be nice.
And pass out. Months. Jeez.
Now I will add in that you guys haven't searched the 2 rooms or the 4 rooms on the first floor. You
Yes.
just ran up immediately upstairs. So
Can we just go to the library and pitch it then, perhaps?
yeah, you can definitely do a long rest after that. I've never even seen such terrible rolls in my life.
When,
To
when
be
stabilized,
fair, it is very hard to hit a suit of plate mail.
Yeah, it's true. And welcome to Curse of Strahd, where everything wants to kill you.
Alright, so what is our next step, everybody?
Yeah, so you guys are able to go to the library, which you know that you've already searched, and besides the creepy dead skeleton and a bunch of weird books about summoning what you can only imagine as demons, you're able to take a long rest. Readier, if you're still studying the book,
Mhm.
which are you? You can take another Arcana check at it to see if you can discern what it's about.
Yeah, just to check in, long rest restores how many hit points?
All of them. All of those hit points. And anything that you burned. Like,
Like 1 rage?
yeah.
Sweet.
My exhaustion, I do believe, vanishes.
Yes, it does. Alright, Reader, after reading this book for a long time, you realize why you can't make way of it. You've studied many books, and although you might not be magical, you do have an understanding of it. And the reason that it was so hard for you to understand is because all these spells are actually, and all these rituals are bogus. It seems like whoever was writing them didn't know what they were talking about whatsoever, and it's just very haphazardly or haphazardly written, as whoever wrote the spell book clearly had no clue what they were doing.
Once he comes to that like sudden realization when the last like clue clicks together in his head, he just they would see him just kind of like like disgust in his voice and face as he casts it aside, just like disappointed and angry at the book, and whoever it is he imagines scribbled that garbage down.
So seeing this, Val would kind of smile and toss him these 2 other scrolls that haven't been identified and says, "Go ahead and identify those since you're bored."
Yeah, and you can take an Arcana check at those if you want to.
During his convalescence in the library.
Oh,
No, and maybe.
I'm a bit surprised that you had these scrolls. Perhaps we could have used them while we were dying.
And you realize that the 2 scrolls that he threw you, one is protection from poison, and the other is spiritual weapon.
Those sound like cleric spells.
When would I be able to understand that, like the nature of the magic as well?
Yeah, you'd at least
At least like the general category, like, oh, this is of divinity or something, that he's not just gonna think, oh, well, I'll just give these to Alton and it's all good, like knowing that they might not work.
yeah, you know that you're able to discern that someone like Alton probably doesn't really use those type of spells.
Okay, he'll just try to stow them safely in his little mini map case thing. And, if the day comes when they can make use of them.
All right, cool. And did everyone take their long rest and such? Back to full
Yeah.
HP. What kind of as you're sitting around resting and sleeping for the 8 hours, time seems to almost stand still in this house.
Or 4 for Alton and Val.
Yeah, time basically seems like it's standing still. Who knows how many hours go by, but after a while it seems like you're all rested enough where most of your injuries are at least not disrupting you from fighting or exploring. You feel well rested enough to maybe not explore the house, but you don't feel like you have much more of an option, as leaving the way you came in doesn't seem to be one of your options that you have.
Dragar thinks we destroyed the heaviest set of armor so far. We've seen 3 sets. That seems to be the biggest one. Maybe we should check out the rest of the rooms.
Well,
Oh,
I have a question.
What do you got?
Are we all in agreement that this house or area, well, there is no brother, obviously.
We have,
Correct.
we have not checked out the rooms.
Why would they lock us in here?
do you think a child can lock a door where you cannot unlock it? Perhaps these children are better at locks than you?
It's quite possible. I was quite tired.
Oh, well, let us check out what's going on here.
The one who controlled the werewolves hinted at some sort of fate. Perhaps this is a test. After all, whatever magic the owners of this house did, at least the one book we found, they're mad. They can't do real magic. But that doesn't
That
mean that
letter.
other forces.
If this was a test, we must have got a D minus.
Yes, Dragar agrees with Alton.
Yeah, you guys got exactly 50%, which is what you needed to pass, basically.
Perhaps he's grading on the curve though, and we're doing great. Who knows?
That letter was signed by someone named Strahd. Wasn't the person we met in the woods also named Strahd?
Did we get a name from
You did not get a name.
I thought we did.
No.
Then ignore that. I could have sworn we got a name.
No, he said that he had a master that wanted to meet you guys, and that he was not to decide your guys' fate.
All I remember about the man in the woods is that he had the rippling, delicious biceps and washboard abs, and that he could control werewolves.
Yeah, he was definitely the Hugh Jackman of werewolves for sure.
Oh
It
yes.
must have been a magic.
Dragar is well rested, ready to go. Let's see what happens.
All right. Yes, Dragar, do not hold anything back. Fight to the last, even if you do not feel that we are in trouble. Give your enemy no quarter.
I tried last time, I'm telling you. My hammer was just not feeling well yesterday.
Okay. I understand. Let us be careful.
And where do we want to head now? You're on the 2nd floor. You went up to the 3rd floor and got the shit beat out of you by a piece of armor.
Well, we
I
have
want-
defeated the guardian of the 3rd floor, so perhaps we should go there.
I want to pick up my light hammers on the probably on the stairway from the 1st to 2nd floor outside of the library so that I have them again.
Yeah, you're able to do that. And where are we thinking? 3rd floor. You guys explored the 2nd floor, and you haven't checked out the 1st floor at all.
We
I
have
say finish the third.
Yes, we have defeated the invincible guardian of the 3rd floor, so perhaps it is safe to explore.
Dragar says work our way down. Makes sense. Let's go.
All right, cool. So, heading back up to the 3rd floor where the armor once stood, there's kind of like this clearing of dust where the footprints of the armor would have stand. You give a sigh of relief to see that at least it has not kind of came back. Immediately to your left is a door, and then against the wall where the armor stood is another door, and then to the right is kind of like a little almost hallway that leads to 2 doors, one on each side. The door on the right side is a double door.
Dragar says let's start with the biggest room first. Big door, small door.
So we're heading right to the double door then?
Yeah, that works for me. If that's where he walks, then Reader will kind of be 5 paces behind him.
I'll start walking towards the large set of doors.
All right.
I'm following you guys.
All right. As you push open this door, it is a dusty cobweb-filled master bedroom. There's burgundy drapes covering the windows. The furnishing of the room is a 4-poster bed, which has embroidered curtains and kind of tattered veils all around it. A matching pair of empty wardrobes and a vanity set are on the wall to the right. It looks like there is maybe some kind of box sitting on that desk with a padded chair tucked inside of it. A rotting tiger skin rug lies on the floor in front of the bed, and there's a portrait of the same two adults in the portrait um that Alton looked at. So what you would assume the mother and the father of this house. Um, and then there's also what looks like another door pretty much to the right of the room also, and that's about it.
Who wants to look at the box?
I think the dwarf who suggested it should look at the box.
Oh, wait. I know what we must do. You should hit the box, because it might be an evil box.
And it's just like a little, what you'd assume as you approach it, like a little jewelry box.
Oh, no. Jewelry boxes cannot be evil. They can only
Can
be bad.
anybody do like some checks on this box?
You can give an investigation on it.
I don't have a good one, but I'll try anyway. Nope.
It looks like a pretty nice jewelry box to you.
Dearest assassin, can you go investigate? You seem like you're very good at the illegal arts.
Also looks like a box to Reedier.
Is it locked? But when he's
it
looking
is
over it, so there's nothing remarkable about it, but he just tries to tilt it open or pull the little drawer. Like, is it locked?
Nope, it will open if you choose to do so.
And he does that with his face away from it, like, oh no, whatever's gonna come out of this is gonna be bad, or not.
A poison trap will kill you, but we will always remember your sacrifice.
And as you open it, there is a golden necklace and 3 gold rings. And then another kind of pendant with this big topaz gem right in the center of it. All kind of inside this box. So 3 gold rings, a necklace, and another necklace with a platinum pendant on it. They all look very valuable, actually, especially the platinum necklace with the topaz. It is probably one of the nicest things you've ever been able to touch.
Dragar has no care for gold.
I care for gold, but not things that look like that in this house. I refuse to touch it.
Oh, I will touch it. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it is the platinum necklace is probably one of the most beautiful pieces of jewelry even Alton has seen.
Oh, yes. It looked like something I was going to have to give in my dowry. Well, until I took it.
Alton, are you sure you want to touch it?
Well, I mean, what is it going to? Is it going to bite me? Is it an evil necklace of strangling?
I don't know. The armor outside attacked us. What makes that necklace any different?
But this armor, then the armor was ugly, and this necklace is beautiful.
So perhaps the rule is the more beautiful, the more deadly.
Oh, that is true. I am very deadly.
And his greed kind of overcoming his paranoia, really would just like take a pillowcase and just shake the stuff in, trying to not make physical contact with it, tying the end off, and just holding on to it to be accounted for later. But also easily recognizable, like, this is the bag of bad that we can throw away if it comes to it. Like, if he starts talking or bleeding or doing something.
You can throw the beautiful objects to me when you run away. I will protect you.
Yeah, you're able to throw it into the pillowcase. It's dusty and smells of mildew, but you're able to do that and throw it over your back. You also see kind of next to the vanity what looks like maybe like a little kind of cubby put into the wall. There's like a latch on it that would seemingly pull open, but it's just like little rectangle or square cubby right against the wall.
Before attempting to open it, Rita would look back at the group like, is it okay if I poke this? 'Cause I'm about to poke this.
Yeah, just make sure that there's no poison to kill you.
Okay.
Dragar steps back.
Investigate.
Yes, quiet.
I might also poke around, but not as in-depth as Reader.
Yeah, and as you poke
no.
around, you open up the door, and it's just like this empty, kind of dark shaft that, if you were to look in, goes up and down, and it becomes apparent that it's like a little dumbwaiter, maybe 3 feet by 3 feet.
Oh, you could
Should we
fit in
board this
there.
up?
You could fit in there if you were to squeeze in very tight. Well, maybe not you, Jago. You seem a bit larger.
Goes up even from here.
Uh, yes, you still are on the.
3rd floor.
Yeah, let me make sure. I might have misread that. Sorry. Uh, let's see. Yeah, sorry, I lied. It doesn't go up. It just goes down.
Okay, so this is the
Perhaps we should board this up.
How far does this shaft go? Can anyone see the bottom?
I don't know.
You're not able to see the bottom. It's just pretty dark in there to even poke your head in.
What about those drow with lots of dark vision? Hmm?
Yeah, it's more or less black and white. I guess, let me see. Let me do the math in my head. How tall does this building stand? You'd be able to see the bottom. You'd estimate that's probably on the first floor.
Okay.
Oh, first floor.
You have superior dark vision too, right, as a drow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see 120. Yeah, you're easily able to see to the bottom. And it just seems like you would estimate the first floor.
In that case, maybe we don't need to board it up. I haven't seen anything dangerous on the first floor, besides the armor that followed us.
Anyone want to check more armor?
I suggest not poking it.
Perhaps we can throw something at it from a very safe distance instead of walking up and rubbing it.
I
Yeah,
know
there's
that I
actually-
gotta take on medium and soft armor, no problem.
There's actually like 4 suits of armor on the second floor, all not as big as the other one. But they're all kind of like positioned in the 4 corners of the main kind of lobby of the second floor. You guys have walked by it several times though, and none of them have seemed to slam into you yet, at least.
We also haven't touched them.
Dragar could wear armor. Doesn't need it, but could wear it.
And then after spending some time in this master bedroom, you feel like you've pretty much explored everything that you could see. There's not really much left to check out.
Other
there-
rooms?
There's another room across the kind of this hallway from you two, or from everybody. And then obviously back out into the main lobby of this, there's the 2 doors against the southern wall.
Yeah,
So
lead the
you can
way,
check,
Ludegard.
yeah, you can check the door right across from the hallway, or head back out to the main part and check the 2 doors close to the stairway.
Dragar will check the door.
So the door right across from you guys just seems like a bathroom. There's dark curtains that go around a wooden tub that have clawed feet, a small iron stove with a kettle resting atop of it, and a barrel under a spigot in the east wall. A cistern on the roof used to collect rainwater, which was borne down a pipe to the spigot. However, the plumbing seems to no longer work.
Are the curtains closed?
Yes, they are. Is anyone brave enough to check them?
To check what?
The curtains of the curtains of the tub.
Are they delicious? Like, are they beautiful?
Dragar looks in the room. He doesn't see anything he wants to see, so he goes over and he instead of even, well, I guess we're still looking for a little boy, yeah? Yeah, I'll check the curtains.
You pull the curtains, and as you pull the curtains, Dragar, the tub is filled with blood, and resting in this blood is a head. And as you look at it, you have this sinking feeling as it is your features, and it is you sitting in that bloody tub, lifeless, eyes kind of lapsed over in the top of your head, and it literally looks like you resting dead in a pool of blood.
I think I would stumble back at that point and kind of gasp. I don't think I would have anything to say.
What is it?
And as you
Oh,
fall back, the curtains kind of close.
what is it? This sounds
Closing
dreadful.
curtain.
I, 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 I saw myself. I saw myself dead in a pool of blood.
But you're
Oh,
standing here. And at this, I would draw my sword and slash the curtains.
And as you slash through the curtains, they kind of fall down into this tub, although it is completely empty, and what Dragar said does not seem to be the case, as it's just an empty, kind of muddy or dusty pool, a tub.
Dragar saw this. Dragar said this was there. Dragar said it was there. Dragar saw this.
Jagar, are you trying to scare us like I scared the children?
No, Dragar saw this. He swears to the whole group Dragar saw this.
Okay.
I see no reason to disbelieve you.
Magical curtains. I don't know. Dragar don't know. Crazy things.
Yeah, and as you kind of pull away the curtains that he slashed Dragar, the tub is, although dusty, not a single drop of blood seems to be in it. And you just can't really figure out what just happened because you're 100% convinced that you've seen yourself lying dead there in a pool of blood.
Dragar don't know. Maybe we should move on.
Maybe we should find a way out of this damnable house.
Yeah, let us continue the exploration. Yeah?
All right, so the next door you walk up to, as you open it, unless you guys are not going to just... Are you just straight up opening doors at this point?
Dragar is a little hesitant to open next door, I got to be honest.
Do not worry, I will handle it. I will protect you from your evil doppelganger.
As you creep open this door, it's dusty shelves. Dusty shelves line the walls of this room. A few shelves have folded sheets and blankets and old bars of soap on them. There's a cobweb-covered broom that leans against the wall, and it looks like this is probably a 5-foot deep closet. There's all kinds of stuff in the closet. If you want to enter and explore, you can, or you can just leave it how it is.
Oh, I have to check what's in the closet. Sometimes you have to get out of the closet, you know? So let us check.
All right.
And if he goes in there, Reader will plant his heel. As the door opens outwards into the hallway or inwards into the room.
Outwards into the hallway, or where you guys are.
He plants his foot on the door so it can't do something crazy like close behind him.
And Val is going to crouch out of sight just behind the threshold. So he's not in the closet, but he's right outside.
Dragar ready.
On.
All right. As you're kind of fumbling through all this stuff, tearing down all the blankets and such, looking, give a perception check.
Oh, this is not going to end well. Oh, how ominous.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, you're not able to see it, Alton, as you're in there kind of looking through, but, sorry, Dragar sees it at the last moment, and he actually can make a dex save to try to push you out of the way. As you're getting close to the end of this closet where the broom is, it quickly animates to life and starts to try to swing at you as you're being now attacked by a broom. But Dragar sees this happening, and he's going to do a straight up contest with this thing and see who is quicker.
Oh,
And the
no.
broom is, and Dragar kind of charges at you and tries to push you out of the way, but this thing is able to attack, and
Why must everything in this house want to kill me?
it does so.
Alton,
Let's see if
watch
it attacks
out.
you. Roll 2. Both are misses though, as you're able to. He alerts you enough to be able to dodge at the last second. We'll get you guys to roll initiative again, as you now are being attacked by a broom, which hopefully maybe isn't as daunting as a foe. you could hope.
Oh.
Um, you roll a 21, Dragar.
Yeah, crit.
Very
Sweet.
nice. You stay at 13. That's nice and easy. Reader 15. Alton. At least you guys showed up in initiative this time.
Took my only good roll.
And then the broom, the terrifying cobweb-filled broom, rolls.
It is so fast.
It's the fastest broom you've ever seen, as it quickly animates to life and starts beating at Alton. He dodges out of the way, but the broom smashes through the kind of rotted out shelves that he was looking at. It then charges at you again, the kind of handle part of it swinging at you with blunt force that you would not presume a broom to have. And it attacks, this time hitting you once for... I'm going to GM roll that shit. Oh god, that's not right. 34 damage. Just kidding.
I do not believe I am long for this world.
Fastest, strongest broom ever.
It hits you for actually 3 damage, though, as you jump back and you're just like puzzled by the fact that this broom is swinging at you, and but at the same time it's a broom, so you're not really that worried about it. But then it slams you right in the jaw, bloodying your lip a bit, Alton. What does Dragar do as he sees this broom just kind of causing a ruckus and trying to attack your friend in front of you?
Making sure that Alton is out of the way, Dragar picks up his longsword that he was given for the hunt, and he doesn't really necessarily stab at the sword, but he comes up in a swooping motion from the ground, so it's very tight sword motion, so that he's really keeping Alton out of trouble, and he tries to split the broom in as much as half, literally vertically, as he possibly can.
Okay. Hey, the first crit of the day, or game. Go ahead, and I don't remember if I discussed this with you guys, but the way we're doing crit damage is the first dice is max damage. So whatever that dice does maximum, you automatically get that, and then you roll another dice plus the modifier.
So what does that mean?
That means D10 plus that, and it did not add your... Yeah, it did add your strength modifier. That means you just did 19 damage to this broom.
Sweet.
And as you do that, you push Alton out of the way, having blood drawn from his lip, being slammed by this broom, and you instantly, with swift force, cut this broom right in half. And it is now dead. Or as dead as a already dead broom can be. You quickly dismantled this thing.
Did a broom just freaking attack us?
I think the broom does not approve. I do not think that I am Dorothy.
Dragar finds that very interesting.
I swear if I ever see those kids again, I'm going to murder them.
I don't know about murdering the children. Perhaps they can simply drown. That would be a bit better, I think.
Dragar don't think he'd be sad if children drown.
I will drown them in their own blood at this point.
Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, no. It should be in the blood of another, because they might die if you do that.
Let karma get them.
Alright, so there's one door left on this doorway, and as you open it up, although it's dusty and filled with cobwebs, it looks like a once elegant room with a double door basically set along the wall that aligns with this. The bedroom looks like it maybe belonged to it's not a master bedroom, but it is very nice nonetheless. Let's see what else is in there. There is obviously a very large bed equivalent to the size of the master bedroom, and then a table and a dresser on each side of the bed, and then to the wall on the left side is another kind of looks like writing table, and then as you walk in, you would notice that there's this glass uh, window door, and as you look into it, it looks like a nursery.
Dragar has seen no child. Do you think he is hiding, or do you think he is dead?
I think that he was cleaned up by the broom, clearly. Perhaps they placed him in the bathtub that you saw.
The bathtub was crazy.
The letter refers to a stillborn child, but I think you can't make any assumptions or safely expect anything from this house.
Dragar not necessarily remember that.
But, you know, I know what we must do. Okay, you have a bow, right? Can you shoot at everything in the room, please? That would be very nice.
Like, Reader has this incredibly, like, you might not have noticed it at the beginning, you just saw his, like, nervousness. Now he doesn't look nervous anymore, he just looks exhausted, and without even thinking about it, he only has maybe 6 arrows plus however many silver tip ones they had. He just systematically draws and looses at the center of just everything that's in this room, every like, separate object.
All right, and you just thud arrows into each piece of furniture that's in this house, or in this room. The bed, the dresser, the wardrobe, the kind of
I'll help
stand.
by slashing anything he doesn't shoot.
He attacks the gazebo, and then after a moment of stillness, he'll just go start retrieving.
All right, and
arrows.
everything in this kind of secondary bedroom does not spring to life as you destroy it. The only thing you can give a perception, actually. Anybody that wants to kind of check after you've destroyed the room, keeping in mind that what looks like the nursery, which has a crib in the room adjacent to this room, has not been explored yet.
Yes, keep an eye out for the brooms. They're very dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
And as Alton's kind of like leaning up against the wall where the dresser is, he leans against a certain portion that gives way, and the wall kind of falls in. And as he falls into the part that gave way, he sees another set of staircase that lead up into this kind of dark corridor.
I take it I'd also see it too, because I got a higher roll than him.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone sees him fall in. He's just like up against the wall, and as he's kind of pushing around at it, he falls through. Pushes the door through, and then there's a staircase that's leading up.
Perhaps this is the place we were looking for.
Dragar will go first.
Alright, Jagger, watch out for stairs. Maybe the stairs will try to eat you.
Dragar needs trap checking. Maybe Dragar checks for traps before Dragar goes upstairs.
Do you even know how to?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it's called looking down. I'm very good at looking down.
Dragar has good perception.
Oh, in that case, you'll be fine.
And Val, with that perception, you actually see, as you're looking around, you peer into the nursery, and it seems like there's a swaddled kind of blanket inside the crib that would normally look like something that would hold a baby. It doesn't move, though. It's just sitting in that darkly lit nursery. There's like a little kind of, what are those called? The little spinny things that play music hanging above it. A mobile. It has like little bats and stars on it. The room is pretty much completely darkened as no light goes into it whatsoever.
My dead baby senses are tingling now. Perhaps we should investigate that.
Yeah, and Val would totally, like, bring attention to this, saying, perhaps there was a child, or there wasn't. Either way, it's not here now.
Do we still check the mobile? The everything?
We're not in that room. I don't think we can get to it.
Checking the doors, the nursery door locked at all? If not, Reader would just cautiously open it.
As you actually start motioning towards the nursery door, a woman appears in the center of the room, basically standing right next to Dragar. She's dressed in this kind of this nurse wear, black and white, very vintage looking nurse clothes. She's a very beautiful looking woman, but she has this really paleness to her skin, and she just doesn't seem to really notice anybody. Her hair all done up, black and kind of like tied into a bun. As you walk towards the nursery, she starts to walk towards you, Reedier.
He would, again, the same kind of frightened motion, leaping back, not even noticing what's behind him, drawing his sword, and once his feet hit the ground, he'll just be frozen there, waiting to see what happens next.
Yeah, and she just appears out of thin air, and as you jump and kind of turn around and draw your weapon, she just stops dead in the room, not, but like 4 feet in front of Dragar. Alton kind of like still around the secret door that he found, and then Val and you and Reedy are kind of close to the nursery.
After hearing Jager's experience, where he was the only one that saw something, he was like, "Does everyone see her?"
And everybody does see her.
Dragar would ask Lady how she's doing. What's going on?
And as you call out to her and ask how she's doing, she does not only not even like reply, she doesn't even seem to acknowledge you or like hear you whatsoever.
Val would kind of just back up and say, "Okay, I've had it. Is that a ghost?"
Is a ghost as bad as a suit of evil armor? I do not know, but it cannot be as bad as an army of wolves in the Lycan Grove.
Dragar agrees with Alton on this one.
I have seen worse there.
And you're kind of at this awkward standstill now as she's just like standing in the center of the room looking at you, Reedier.
I stepped well out of the line of the nursery, so that because it looked like she was approaching that way, or did it look like she was approaching me?
It did seem like she was heading in that direction.
Okay, so I get out of the way as if I'm trying to not block her path. Just
Okay.
to see what happens.
And she kind of gives you a smile, actually acknowledging you and you only at this point. And she walks up to the door, but instead of reaching out and turning the doorknob, she walks right through the door and goes to the nursery or the crib and stands over it, just kind of looking at the swaddled blanket in the center of it.
Dragar know like ghosts. Dragar a little freaked out.
I don't like ghosts either. I think I'd rather the wolves.
Shall we go see?
Let us very, very carefully check.
Okay, let's go check. And Dragar kicks the door open as hard as he possibly can.
Is that actually what Dragar does?
Yes, that is actually what Dragar does.
Oh,
Perfect.
such powerful form.
As soon as you kick the door open, her head like actually snaps 180 degrees, completely looking at you. Her back still to you, but her head looking at you. Her once beautiful face distorts into this kind of terrifying, elongated, like jawed and like dark sunken eyes, and she lets out this horrific scream that just kind of echoes the entire house. You actually feel like the walls kind of shuddering and stuff, and everyone roll initiative.
Great, you released a demon.
Is there any way to close the door?
I don't know if the door will stop a ghost, but perhaps.
She already walked through the door.
Yes. Perhaps do you have a ghost-proof door? Yeah.
Back pocket.
Do
I
you
don't
carry
know.
one of those?
Do
No.
you have a ghost-proof door?
No, I'm not strong. I cannot carry doors. I'm sorry. And
Oh,
apparently, I am
don't
petrified because I am
door
last.
spell.
I am last in the initiative agreement.
Alright,
Your head should not do that, lady. Perhaps you need help putting it back.
And Okay, scary ghost lady.
Scared.
She
Scared them.
rolls a.
I would just like to state that we mean you no harm.
And she's
Mostly.
still like screaming at this point. Initiative, we got Alton with a 4.
I think I beat her by attack.
13.
It is a moral victory.
18. And Val or Dragar with a 5. Alright. You are up first, Val.
Val would just be rather freaked out and shout to Alton and Reader, "What the hell is that thing? That is not normal." And then he'd also kind of shrug, try to cover his ears for a second, and think, and then deciding that it's not going to bleed, but it's worth a shot anyways, he's going to draw his sword and run forward and swipe at this ghost.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and do so.
And miss, or phase through it, or whatever.
Yeah, you swing at it, and she actually just disappears, and you take a moment to like look around the room, and then she's right behind you, and she like goes to grab on you and does this another terrifying scream as her like jaw actually like snaps at this point, and her mouth is just kind of hanging there as she's still screaming through this.
And as this happens, I would also try to shout, "She's hard to hit."
And Redo, you're up next.
Oh boy.
She is a ghost armor. Oh no.
Trying to think, because I know his reaction, like because he was already like feeling incredibly cold as just a nervous reaction, and then once the scream happens, he would have like been wincing and covering his ears. But then once Val runs in there, he's kind of like, all right, now we're committed. Now we have to come up with something. So Reed would run into the room, still with his ridiculous short sword that he feels like isn't going to do anything, and he points it into the cradle, and he just yells at her, "We don't mean you any harm. Just leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone. Come at this again, and I'm stabbing this baby."
And as you say that, her jaw is just kind of like hanging there, all like contorted and broken, and she gives the noise equivalent to what the girl does in The Grudge, basically this gargling noise. And it just,
Reader almost drops the sword, but manages to hold on to it.
yeah, and it's just terrifying at this point. Are you attacking her, or you just?
No, I'm seeing what her response is. She just pauses before like grabbing Val and just gurgles at us.
She doesn't necessarily pause. She looks like she's readying to attack, but as you say that, her kind of response is just that creepy kind of gurgle.
Yeah, that's all I do for now.
All right. Dragar, you're up next.
And I kind of like looking at Dragar, like just wait and see what happens. Like you can see, not with words, but with his face. Like you can read his expression, plain as anything.
What was Chris gonna say?
I was gonna say that you can ready an action, Reader, if you wanted to, since you didn't do one. Like if she attacks, you attack.
Yeah, that would do that then. Just
Okay.
Last desperate move.
Yep.
I think Dragar would like the fact that she hasn't attacked yet, but obviously is looking like she's going to attack and doesn't really know what's going on. I think it's time to probably huck a light hammer at her. So I'm gonna do that. I know she's a ghost, so it's probably not gonna do anything, but
Oh shit! You hit her. Why is a light hammer doing piercing damage? Wouldn't that be bludgeoning?
sorry, I had that.
No worries. Nonetheless, though, you throw this hammer at her as she's sitting there gurgling at Reedier, and you land it point blank at her, and it actually like he kind of gives this like dispersing like puff of cloud, and followed by another shriek. The hammer goes like right through her body, just like bringing this kind of hole in the chest of her. It quickly kind of puts itself back together as she grows into a more like actual physical form. But you notice as that went through her that there's like distortion, kind of like phasing in and out from where you hit her. And she did not look like she was very pleased by that strike. Like it did seem like you did damage, but probably not as much as it would be if you threw a hammer at an actual physical creature, right?
Hmm. Dragar would just look up and say, "Oh, I don't know what to do now. I'm kind of a little bit scared."
And she's back to shrieking terribly again. Alton, this is like almost making your ears bleed at this point. This ghost is being very loud and obnoxious.
Yes, please stop. You are like you remind me of a certain cow I once met. You're hideous, and oh, your voice. Oh no. Oh, you have to shut up, please. And you see Alton as he charges forward to help his dearest dwarven companion. As he lifts his swords up and he strikes at this disgusting manatee of a woman.
Oh, now you guys are bringing your A game. 2 hits.
Yeah, so what you see is Alton as he charges forward to protect his companion. He just swipes at her wildly, cutting across her chest and across her waist. His swords finding purchase as he does. A combined 9 damage.
All right. And the same thing, you slice into her, and her body kind of gives away to the smoky distortion, but it quickly kind of reforms itself. It's still leaving this kind of void and same distortion of Dragar's attack, but again, it doesn't seem like it did as much damage as it should. And next up is the ghost, and finally, after taking these 2 quick attacks, lunging Alton and Dragar, she lets out this hiss, and this actual kind of like smoke starts forming from her mouth and channeling towards Dragar. And I accidentally posted that. Oh well. Sick.
Oh, please do not die, Jagar.
There we go. You get to see what she's doing to you as she tries to do it.
Oh, that is a lot of damage.
Oh. Especially when you crit.
Oh no. That is not good.
Alright, Dragar.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
never forget your memory. You are my best friend.
You are instantly knocked unconscious. I don't know how much health you have.
15.
15. All right, let's see if she might actually potentially kill you right out.
The minimum damage is 6. You might be okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, she hits you for 20 damage. Just completely linking this smoke to you, and you just start to feel your essence draining from you. You fall to the ground as everyone looking at you starts to see like Dragar's skin start to wrinkle, and you see like actually what looks like almost a spirit from him being pulled. He drops to the ground and is instantly knocked unconscious. Val is up. As
He
that
doesn't
thing
have
just-
anything better to do, so he's. Oh wait, wouldn't Reader get a attack because he readied an action?
Oh yeah, Radiator does get an attack.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, with all the craziness going on, yeah, once she blows the smoke on him and I see him fall to the ground, he just swings down through the cradle with the short sword. Not knowing what that would do.
Let's see.
You want me to roll something?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were attacking.
No, he's not attacking her. He's attacking the swaddled figure in the cradle.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you do. My bad. Not even, you don't have to roll or anything. As you swing into this blanket, you cut through it, and there's actually nothing inside of it. And as you do that, you put her into a rage that you thought she was pissed at that point. Now she is like actually just like screaming louder than before. Her jawline like getting even longer. At this point, her eyes even more shrunken, and her hair actually kind of like erupts into like this static electricity, and she just looks at you with like rage that you've never felt before. It actually just like chills you right to the core of your spine. And you definitely incurred the wrath of this thing.
I wish we were fighting the evil armor again.
Great
And
reader, you made her more mad.
Dragar, you unfortunately need to make your death save as this thing just wrecked you in one hit.
It's
Oh, that's 2 fails.
wait,
So,
what? Wait. Question.
oh wait, no, yeah, sorry, that's wrong. Roll a d20, sorry, Dan. I thought you rolled a 1. A
Well-
death save is you roll a d20, no modifier. You have to roll higher than 10, or you get a fail. After 3 fails,
10 or higher.
Yeah,
Hey.
10 or higher.
Chris,
What do you got?
reader had a ready to action.
Yeah,
So it's then my turn.
yeah, sorry, I passed you, my bad.
It's okay. I'm getting tired too. So
Yeah, we're gonna end pretty soon.
either way, I made an attack, probably missed.
What'd you roll? I didn't see it, sorry.
Oh, I just rolled it, so that is not a miss.
You did hit. Go ahead and do your damage. Alright. And what is the slashing attack is the same kind of effect with everybody else, but as you swing through her, it leaves a more distorted kind of thing. She doesn't put herself back together quite as good, as it looks like you actually like physically damaged her quite well, as opposed to everybody else's attacks were just kind of like, it did look like it was hurting her, but everybody else, it was just going through and she was putting herself back with minimal distortion. This actually like claws her in half, and then it takes her a while for her torso to come back together.
And Val would smile and say, "Oh, so I figured out how to kill you after all."
And then now I'm all confused on the dragon. Alton, you're up.
Yes, yeah, you disgusting vile cow. Just so you know, I will fuck, I will skull fuck your dead baby for this. Unhand Dragar! Only I can have him.
And you hit her twice.
Yes, you see the short sword cut across her for 5, the other also for 5. As you see a bit of anger and fear cross over Alton's face as he stands above his defeated companion.
All right, and as you do that, you take her head right off, and it takes a very long time for itself to come back. And as it does come back, she seems to be like phasing in and out of reality, as it's almost like a light flickering on and off. She looks like she's barely clinging to this plane of existence. She is up though, and with Reedier kind of striking at her baby, she's going to attack him, or what you would think would be her baby. And this is where you just pray that she doesn't hit you.
Yeah.
And you're able to dodge it. The same kind of mist starts forming from her mouth, but after you seeing what it did to Dragar, you know to jump out of the way, and you do so, it not being able to kind of create this link between you two to actually start sucking your life away from you. Val is up again.
And seeing that his slash seemed to work, he is just gonna turn around and slash her again.
Alright, let's see what you got.
And do you get your sneak attack
Oh,
on this?
I
guess
missed.
you missed anyway.
Yeah, this time you miss. As you do swing at her, she like completely phases out of this realm, and then you swing right through her, and then as you finish your swing, she appears back in front of you, just right in your face, and that's another one of those bone-chilling screams. Reedy, after dodging her attack, you see her like draw her attention towards Val.
After that slash, I think I would try to back away if I could.
Like actually out of her.
Like, just keeping at the very edge of her distance.
Yeah, okay. Reader's up though.
His whole body soaked in freezing sweat. The short sword just drops out of his hand. He tries to make his way to her back, not that it seems to matter because she can just turn herself around at will, and strikes at her with his dagger. And just, I'm assuming, whiffing terribly.
Just barely. It's the same thing. You actually think you have the strike lined up, and as you sink it, she phases out of existence again. And as your attack finishes, she appears back in front, seemingly looking like she still has her attention not on you anymore. Alton, you're up, and after your threat.
Dragar must make a death save.
Oh yeah, Dragar, go ahead and make a death save. That's one fail, one success. As everyone looks over at Dragar, his body's just kind of wrinkled and laying there lifelessly on the ground.
Oh, please help him! I have to destroy this evil ghost lady.
If
And
we turn our attention away from her, she'll kill us.
I will kill her. Do not worry about that. I will not let you lay another hand upon Dragar. He is too young to die, even if he is old.
Hit.
And you can see that Alton is growing a bit more determined as his legs shake wildly. As he does 12 more damage to her.
And what does it look like as you vanquish her, actually?
Yes, you can see Alton. He's quivering. He does not know what to do, but he must save his friend. And he just simply swipes at her wildly. The ghost is unable to dodge the attack as it pierces her defenses, one blade cutting into her heart, the other cutting into her waist, as he disperses her misty body into nothingness as she is defeated.
And she lets out one horrific scream as she then kind of poofs into a whole bunch of smoke, and at that point just kind of sprinkles away into nothingness, and the house quickly falls back to the silence that it once was, realizing that she has been sent back to whatever plane of existence she came from. You still have the dying corpse of Dragar laying on the floor. Everyone kind of has this cold sweat to them.
Oh, Dragar, I cannot let you die. It's not your time yet. And I will pull out my quickly depleting healer's kit, and I will attempt to stop his death.
And you're able to do so. And with that, we'll end it there for the first session. We'll pick up with you guys being at level 2, and we'll go from there next time we see you guys. Thank you all for playing, and I'll see you guys next session.
Right on, man.
Thank you for running.